Football Friday here on Kincade Salciunas 97.5. The Fanatic as the Eagles get set to take on the Detroit Lions Sunday Night Football. So another night with little sleep coming up for us. Monday morning will be an early one, and hopefully it'll be after an Eagles victory. Good morning, John Kincade.
And a good morning to you. Looking forward to a big one today as we get ready for what should be an amazing football weekend. Not just the Birds.
Oh, no.
A lot of great ramifications.
This slate's going to be a great one, and I love...
Last night was terrible, and I turned it off.
Yeah, last night sucked. But even though, I hate being tired sometimes after these late-night games, I love the fact that the Eagles are by themselves Sunday night because the rest of the weekend is also tremendous. The 1 o'clock games, the 4 o'clock games, and then, of course, Eagles-Lions. If you're not an Eagles or Lions fan, that's still a major game. That's still a game that's filled with a lot of excitement, a lot of entertainment coming up. But, of course, it means something for us. And I have not hid my worry for today. I love the confidence that you have had all week long.
Yeah.
I love the confidence that some people on social media have. There was a video posted by Haley about me talking about how the Eagles can't just have a passive offense Sunday against the Lions, and somebody goes, the Eagles aren't going to let the Lions score more than 20 points. I go, all right, if you think the Eagles are going to keep that Lions team to 20 points, then, man, this defense is really starting to look like the Super Bowl defense that we saw last year.
Remember, I said 26, and you guys both, Connor and you both went over. Yes. And I say I absolutely do not think the Lions are scoring more than 26.
If the Eagles can slow down this Lions offense, then we're really talking about the defense being completely back, right?
Yes.
Like where they're going to limit points, they're going to stop them, they're going to force turnovers, they're going to force 3 and outs, like where the Eagles offense has them all the time. The Eagles defense, with the addition of Jalen Phillips, getting Nakobe Dean back healthy, getting Nolan Smith back healthy, if they're able to have that kind of game against Detroit, all right, let's go. Like, we got a fierce defense. They just need to figure out their crap offensively. So I have like a kind of an open-ended question for the people today, Johnny.
Philosophical?
I just wonder where the overall confidence level is for people when it comes to this team. We've had a lot of sort of discussions about how, man, they're 7-2, but, right, like A.J. Brown, there's drama. He's also not contributing much. Jalen Hurts has not had that great of a season. Right? Would you say that he's had a great season? Because I wouldn't.
I don't think he's had a bad season, but I
not
think
a bad
he's been he's been efficient.
He's been efficient, which is the key word for the Eagles this year. The defense up until last week had not looked like the defense of last year. Understandably so. You have a lot of new moving parts. So I just wonder where the overall confidence level is for the Eagles, because I think about something that you said yesterday, John. I do listen to what you say, believe it or not.
I appreciate
not go in one ear and out the other. You said yesterday something that is extra confident. Not only do you think the Eagles win this game against the Lions, which you've been saying since before the Packers.
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to be easy, and I don't think it's going to be pretty.
Right, but you think they win.
Yeah, I think they're going to win.
You also said that if they win Sunday, you are guaranteeing that they get the 1 seed in
Capital
the NFC.
G. Monday morning, Haley will clip it. It's a guarantee. They're the number 1 seed.
Extremely confident with this Eagles
team.
team.
I'm incredibly confident because I don't think they have a tougher opponent left on their schedule. I don't think they have any. They've already had a ton of tough challenges.
Sure.
And by the way, every one of the tough challenges they've won.
Yeah.
So
if
they win against the Lions,
like 15-2, 14-3,
it's over. No. They still may. It's just the number 1 seed. They'll get the number 1 seed because I still see losses on the schedule.
Sure.
But they're going to be the number 1 seed. They're going to be. What I would guess is if they win, if they go to 8-2, then you're probably looking at 13-4. And they'll be the number 1 seed because none of the other guys are getting to 13.
Now, I love that. Now,
I have no doubt. No doubt in my mind. If they beat Detroit, they're the number 1 seed, period. They will hold 4 head-to-head tiebreakers over playoff teams.
Which is incredible.
And then they'll have a chance to beat the Bears, who are currently in playoff position, on Black Friday. And they could hold the tiebreaker over 5 playoff contenders. So I would have no concerns about them being the 1 seed. And if they're the 1 seed and have to win 2 home games in South Philly, there's a really good chance we could be talking about a team that could repeat.
Now, you know what's amazing? And maybe this goes to my confidence level. Because, look, I still feel very good about this Eagles team having a nice winter, right?
Yes.
We'll see. We'll get the Super Bowl.
A nice winter. You're not,
We'll get the Super Bowl talk eventually, right? But it's amazing how it doesn't really feel like that Like have the Eagles screamed other than the wins, which I know that's the number one thing. Jalen Hurts will tell you that. That's all that matters. Other than the wins, has it felt like number one seed team? Because it hasn't.
Well, I leave like the little notes to myself that I go back and I look at notes and look at things that I said. And the number one thing that I keep trying to remind myself of is last year, arguably, the Eagles had one of their worst seasons, not record-wise, but one of their worst performance seasons at home in a Super Bowl winning year. They had to go down to the last play to hold off the Jacksonville Jaguars. They had to get a dramatic fourth-quarter comeback to beat the stinking Browns. They were terrible in so many home games last year. Carolina, they should have lost.
Yeah, I know. If Xavier Leggett doesn't drop a ball.
These are four of the top 9 teams in last year's draft. The Eagles barely beat at home.
Yeah.
And they were the Super Bowl champs. And I said to myself in notes, remind yourself of this when you're looking at the Eagles for the style points, because we got into those discussions a lot with Connor. The idea of the style points is that the Eagles are just a team that's not going to be a style point team.
Yeah. I mean, they are the most confusing 7-2 one seed. If season ended today, 1 seed in the NFC. It's one of the most confusing things that I've watched. But sometimes you just can't ignore the results.
Well,
and the results are that they find ways to win every single week.
The Seahawks and the Rams are 7-2. The Seahawks and the Rams have better 9-game, here's how we look teams.
Right.
But I don't necessarily think that they are better than the Eagles. And I think if the Eagles play them in South Philly in January, they'll beat them. So it's one of those things where I don't think, like right now, what I know of the Eagles, I don't think they'd go to Seattle and win. And I don't think they'd beat the Rams on the road.
But you think if they host them?
Yeah, if they host them in South Philly in January, yeah. I think the Eagles are going to I think the Eagles would have a path to the Super Bowl.
All right, Connor, it's kind of an open-ended question. What is your confidence level with the Eagles? Like, I know they're a good football team, but they don't feel like a 1 seed. They don't. I've not watched a game this year where I go, except for the Giants beatdown.
Yeah.
There has not been a game where I've pointed and said, that is the 1 seed. That is the team that won the Super Bowl last year. That's the team that I know week in and week out can get a win. I've only seen it one time.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident in them because I don't know who else around the NFC does look like that team. I guess it would probably be Detroit for me, and maybe that's because they're one of the few contenders the Eagles haven't played yet.
Well, it's amazing. L.A. has shown it, but you beat L.A.
Right, and that was a situation where you also spotted them like however many points in that game. I don't know. I mean, the Eagles just win, and at the end of the day, until somebody comes around and shows me they can beat this team convincingly, which nobody has, besides the Giants, who you then beat after that, and I think that was more of a fluky Thursday night game, then I'm going to have confidence that they're the best team. And if you get Jalen Hurts and company into a postseason, which they're going to be in, I'm going to take them over every single team in the NFC because their postseason pedigree beats the brakes off of any other team currently in the NFC. So I feel pretty confident.
I like how you're speaking there, Connor. Because I honestly, I feel I can't tell you that I feel really good about this game. Like, I feel really good about it.
I love that because
I think
don't.
the Eagles. Because here's one thing I know:
I don't.
In their history, the Eagles have been fantastic about this team, this group, this recent group. When they give that week where we have a crappy week like this,
a
crappy week of discussion, a crappy week of like analysis of the team where people are how they're feeling. I got to tell you that I don't.
Right.
They turn it around the next week and make a statement where they come out and go, "Everybody happy?" I got to have more confidence.
I just wonder how long you could teeter with that.
Yeah,
I think that's walking on a thin sheet of ice.
Yeah.
By the way, shout out to Big Dom for getting Jeffrey Lurie and A.J. Brown together.
But after the numbers I told you, well, we know about that. Well, I think Jeffrey Lurie said, bring him here.
No.
I don't think it was Big Dom brokering a meeting.
I saw social media. Oh, shout out to Big Dom.
Bull crap.
He's the freaking owner of the football team.
The owner of the
meeting
football,
of the five families.
The owner of the football team said, hey, Big Dom, bring A.J. Brown to me because this crap has to stop.
All right, coming up next, there's something that should make you feel better when we've heard a consistent message from those who cover the team and are in the locker room every single day. We'll talk about that next. We want to hear from you. 610-632-0975. Open-ended question. Where's your confidence level? when it comes to the Eagles. We'll discuss it all show today on this Football Friday. Eagles-Lions. Boy, big game Sunday night here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Philadelphia.
Friday, which of course is brought to us by our friends at the Norristown Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, driving your great deals at the fall sales event at Norristown Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, and get wicked good deals all month long on a Chrysler Dodge Jeep or Ram. Visit norristownchrislerdodge.com. So one thing to sort of continue to keep your head up if you are, wavering in confidence with the Philadelphia Eagles, because we've heard 2023 be mentioned a lot. Every reporter, and this show trusts reporters in the locker room, every reporter has said it's not felt like 2023. Now,
yes,
they can't speak for what is on the mind of a player. And again, Jeremy Fowler on this show told us he spoke to a player that did say, hey, it kind of feels like it. Not saying that it is. We just got to get away from that real quick. And that was after the second straight loss. And look at what happened. They ended up winning 2 games, Vikings, Giants. They go to the bye, and say what you want about how it looked. They did beat the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau Field. So they sort of escaped that feeling of 2023 for the time being. We'll see how Sunday, if they were to lose, how that could impact the Eagles moving forward. Hopefully, we don't even have to get there.
Well, thankfully, they're not.
I love your
Which is
confidence.
good. Yes.
But yesterday, our buddy Zach Berman was on with us, and here he was talking about just sort of how the locker room seems to be handling the adversity they've dealt with this year.
I frankly feel better about this year's team, and the reason I say that is I think they have a better path to the number 1 seed, which is going to be such a significant difference. I mean, last year at this time, I was worried about the Lions for the Eagles. I thought the Lions were the best team in the NFC. And look, the Lions lost in the playoffs. They were banged up at the end. The Eagles were hot and healthier at the right time. But I'd be fascinated to see what a game in Detroit would have been. So I think this year, I like the Eagles' path to the number 1 seed if they win on Sunday. And I think that they have everything that they need. They got to get this figured out offensively, but I think defensively, they're going to continue to get better. The Jalen Phillips acquisition was huge. It changes the complexion of the defense for them. Getting the Kobe back's big. They got to figure out some things in the secondary, but I think overall, if the Eagles win Sunday against Detroit, they have over a 50% chance of getting the 1 seed. That is huge before Thanksgiving.
By the way, just a key thing to point out, you heard him say better than last year. That was your question. You asked him, John, where do you feel compared this
Does
time
he feel
last
better?
year? And he said this year he feels better about the Philadelphia Eagles, better than the team that won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think, too, though, is that one of the reasons you should feel better is because of the fact that they did win a Super Bowl. And there's a point of reference where if you step to a tee box on a golf course and you play a hole well, you go, I know what I'm doing here. I know it's comfortable. I feel good or whatever. You walk onto a golf course for the first time and you've been having a crappy round or whatever, and you step into the tee box, you don't know what you're doing. When you feel comfortable with it, you feel it. This team has a point of reference that, yeah, we can win big games. We can block 2 kicks to win a game against a great team. We can blow out a team in the Super Bowl that everybody thinks is a super team. So I'm of the belief that the mindset is there for the Philadelphia Eagles to be able to do some great things. And I do. I just there's no reason to doubt the Eagles. I really believe that. Like they've shown you so many times. They've put it in your face so many times and said, "Shut up, dude."
Or they deserve the benefit of the doubt.
Yes. How about that?
If you think the A.J. Brown thing could blow up at any point, you could say, "Well, it didn't last year because they won a Super Bowl."
The whole idea, too, by the way, is with the A.J. Brown stuff, is the idea of Mr. Lurie getting his little summit in, which is very similar to last year when Nick Sirianni had the little summit after the Cleveland. When you're summoned to that's the principal's office.
Yeah.
And that is cut it the hell out. That's what that is.
Yeah.
It's not warm and chummy like, dude, I understand. Like, I listened to Unfiltered yesterday, and I felt, A.J. Brown I'm hearing Bill talk, and A.J. Brown's a selfless leader that all he's talking, he doesn't care about his numbers. He just cares about winning and everything. I'm like, okay, Bill Colarulo needs to go into concussion protocol because Mr. Lurie's like, hey,
all those hard hits at Gettysburg.
let's get over it. Yeah, I think that's what it was because it was out. By the time I had my ride home from the Dan White and Associates pie event, the pie drive-thru, which was awesome, I was like, oh, my gosh. This selfless man, A.J. Brown, he's just selfless. All he cares about is his teammates and winning. I was like, what a load of crap. My gosh. Come on, Mr. Lurie. Hope you got it straightened out.
Where is your confidence level with the Philadelphia Eagles? It's an open-ended question. Connor, I think a lot of people also kind of walk in line with you. MBD says, my confidence level in the Eagles isn't very high in a vacuum, but in the context of the rest of the league, I'm not super confident in anybody. It's a down year in the league this year. And I wonder how much that is a factor for people saying, all right, yeah, the Eagles haven't looked great, but who has? And it's a point that you've made and you've been making. And I think it's a fair point to look at. Now, look, Sunday's a real test. Sunday's a true test. And coming up next, as you guys know, I'm not very confident in Sunday's game against the Lions. And one of the reasons why is because the Eagles need to. It's not, I think. The Eagles need to open up the offense.
Correct.
And we just haven't seen it. Tim McManus talked about the issues that have led to some upset players in NovaCare yesterday when he was on with Unfiltered. You'll hear that next. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now, on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
A big game weekend. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Eagles are looking pretty healthy heading into their Sunday night showdown with the Lions. Yesterday's injury report had Cam Jurgens as the only limited player as he works back from a knee injury. We'll keep you updated on his status ahead of Sunday, but everybody else was a full participant. Eagles coordinators met with media yesterday, and Vic Fangio talked about the talent on Detroit's offense and how tough that's going to be to stop.
They got a lot of talent on that side of the ball. They got the best O-line in the league. Quarterback, according to Dan's, playing the best that he's ever played. 2 good running backs. The receivers are all fast. You know, it's a good unit to be calling plays for.
So everything's all set for a Sunday night showdown between 2 of the top teams in the NFC. Sixers and Flyers are both in action tonight. Sixers play the Pistons in Detroit at 7:30. You can hear that game live here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Flyers are in St. Louis taking on the Blues. That game at 8 p.m. You can hear it on our sister station, WMMR. Major League Baseball handed out their MVP awards last night. Shohei Ohtani won unanimous NL MVP. Kyle Schwarber finished in second. Trey Turner finished 5th. Yankees' Aaron Judge won AL MVP over Seattle's Cal Raleigh. And the Union continued their playoff run Sunday on the road against New York City FC. Dave Burkett, who covers the Lions, joins us at 8:25. This update is brought to you by Groundworks, your trained and certified experts for basement waterproofing and foundation repair since 1997. Book your free inspection at groundworks.com. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic. Good night.
Oddly, Chunas, my confidence level with the Eagles is relatively high because we can play against anyone at home or away, and no team truly concerns me more than the Eagles themselves. I think that's going to be the biggest message that we get from people. You can text the show at 610-632-0975. We have an open-ended conversation. Where is your confidence level with the Eagles? It could be about Sunday's game, which I do not feel confident about, or it could just be the overall state of the Eagles. I'm telling you right now, they do not feel like a 7-2 1 seed. They don't. Like, if you really think about how this season has played out with all the storylines, you would not think that they were a 1 seed. If at one point I told you you had to bring out a 37-year-old out of retirement who tore his labrum twice because you're that weak at the edge rusher position, you'd say, what team are you talking about? The New York Jets? The Cleveland Browns? No, I'm talking about the defending Super Bowl champion Eagles. Now, that does not mean I think they're a bad football team. It just hasn't felt like they are a 1 seed. Because we're so inside. We're so hyper-focused on the Eagles that sometimes we ignore what's going on around the rest of the NFL. So I think what you said, Connor, and what a couple of our YouTube people have said so far, it's not just the Eagles, it's also the state of the rest of the NFL. What do we have on the text line? Anybody texting in that opinion or others at 610-632-0975?
Yes, we have people checking in. I do have a quick update to my update, though, because I did say the Union play on the road. Soccer does the dumb thing where they list list the home team first.
You're not a footy?
Well, why are they the one sport that switches it? They're at Subaru Park.
Because it's stupid.
Rex Ryan would know that.
That's stupid to do that.
All right, this texter checks in and says, good morning, fellas. Should the defense be practicing against Tanner McKee? Isn't he the closest we have to a gunslinger like Jared Goff? Over-under on interceptions for Jared Goff.
Jared Goff, I will absolutely throw in the over a half interception. Like, so do the where, his interception line will be set at a half. And then you can slide it to 1.5 if you wanted. I don't think they're getting 2. Yeah. But they'll get 1.
He only has 3 picks this year.
They're gonna get 1.
It's more so getting to him. I wonder how many forced fumbles, because he's not the most fleetest of foot back there, Jared.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me see how many fumbles he has, because he's got 3. He's got 3 interceptions. He's having a hell of a season.
He's got less than Justin Fields. You guys see that last night?
No.
48 fumbles in the past 3 years, I think it was.
God, that's horrible. I was so disinterested in yesterday's game.
Yeah, I got to tell you.
I saw Travion Henderson score a touchdown because that was one of my picks, and I was done. I saw him score the first touchdown, and I said, all right, I saw what I came here to see. I don't need to watch this game anymore. Patriots-Jets means nothing to me moving forward.
Yeah, he's look, Jared Goff, last 10 on the road, he's 8-2.
Okay.
Which is a pretty good mark. He's won at Green Bay, but then he's won at Houston, Dome, at Indianapolis, Dome.
Sure.
At he did win let me see another one. He won at Baltimore earlier this year, but Baltimore's defense at the time was ridiculous. And he won at Cincinnati, and Cincinnati was as injured as hell. Baltimore and Cincinnati this year winning on the road. He lost to Kansas City. He's played Washington's defense might be the worst in the league. So I don't know what to make of his recent success on the road, because he has not been statistically a quarterback on the road that has done enough.
Right. And we all know those tiny hands. All right, one of the reasons why
his wife doesn't mind him.
One of the reasons why.
She's quite a beauty.
She is. One of the reasons why I don't feel good about Sunday is because they need to open up the offense. They're not, again, here's some hard-hitting analysis for you. They're not going to win the game by scoring 10 points. That's hard-hitting analysis. I might as well be Kirk Herbstreit, all right, like giving you that kind of info. They need to open up the offense. It can't be this playing not to lose, which Jalen Hurts has said this year. It can't just be efficient, which is the buzzword that you will hear about 60 times today during some clips we played for you from press conferences yesterday. It can't just be not trying to win the turnover battle. I understand that, but not winning the turnover battle is not just dinking and dunking your way downfield. Against a team like this, you're going to have to open up the playbook a little bit. Tim McManus yesterday was on with Unfiltered and talked about the state of the Eagles offense and just how passive it's been.
I think a lot of what they're trying to do, it sort of depends, obviously, on the situation. Like we saw them open it up against Minnesota, and then they had a really good game against New York. But I think we have a large enough sample size to say that they're playing conservative. They don't want to turn the ball over, and it's working. Like they have 4 turnovers on the entire season, and and that has helped them win these like tight games. So they're 6-1 in one-score games this year. And it's been kind of like this nip and tuck approach where we saw it on Monday Night Football, where if it gets third and long, like you can almost, it feels like, all right, here comes a draw. And so I think that they're largely playing it conservative, and now they're seeing their defense round into form. And so that has been a formula for them. But I asked Sirianni yesterday, like, is it sustainable over time in the fact of, like, you're playing a conservative brand and it's worked very well for you, but you have all of these stars on offense, and clearly some of them are frustrated. And so does that end up being sort of negative where, if they're starting to get down, then does that have a negative effect on the overall product? And, what Sirianni said is they're not going to be changing that approach. Like the turnover battle is a major component to what they do. But I'm very curious to see how the rest of the season plays out. If they keep it close to the vest here as an offense, you're already working with one frustrated wide receiver. And I'm just kind of curious to see what kind of tangible effects that may have across the unit.
Well, it goes yesterday to where I was trying to nail down Andrew DeCecco to just say it, is A.J. Brown's frustrated with somebody.
Yes.
He says 3 different times, we can't keep saying that it's okay. We can't keep acting like it's okay.
Right.
Who's acting like it's okay? Not the fans.
No.
Not the media. It's obviously the coaching staff he's talking about.
Or it's Jalen, because Jalen is the cyborg that, hey, we won, right? Like,
yeah, but Jalen's also then mimicking what he's getting from the head coach, and we're hearing it there. But Tim McManus says there's frustration. When Jeffrey Lurie intervenes, that's all you need to know. Jeffrey Lurie is not a meddlesome owner. It's not. When Jeffrey Lurie gets involved, it's, okay, kids, you guys haven't figured this out yourself. Dad's walking into the room. You and your brother are rumbling in the living room. Mm-hmm. And then you finally hear Dad walking towards the room to go, okay, cut it out.
Yeah.
Now, that's what we got yesterday. Cut it out.
Right. Now,
stop this stupid
let's
stuff.
Not act. I understand A.J. Brown's been the biggest voice when it comes to the frustrations.
Other people are frustrated, too.
Lane Johnson, the one week calling him predictable and then not wanting to speak the following week because he didn't want to say anything that could cause, drama. Jalen Hurts has quite literally said, we got to stop playing not to lose. Like that was his quote. Devontae Smith, after scoring the touchdown against the Minnesota Vikings, if you remember after the game, he was saying, yeah, I think we should be doing more of this kind of stuff, right? So this isn't like anonymous sources are saying. Right. This is A.J. Brown's very public about it. Jalen Hurts has been public about it in his way. Lane Johnson was public about it. Devontae Smith has been public about it.
I heard people yesterday spitting that clip of Lane Johnson at his locker.
Yeah.
And trying to spin it as Lane Johnson spoke out and nobody had any problem with Lane Johnson and they're getting on A.J. Brown. Lane Johnson isn't putting out cryptic tweets on social media week after week after week. Lane Johnson isn't going on Twitch feeds at 1:30 in the morning talking to Jenke, who, by the way,
Mr. Jenke.
I was shocked. Ray Dunn didn't know who Jenke was either. Look, Ray Dunn's closer to that young demographic. If I know who this dude is, they should. I would think.
You don't know who this dude is.
I did know. I knew through Liv. I knew immediately.
Oh, through Liv?
John's a big gamer.
What?
You didn't know that?
Liv likes gaming. She likes those people.
How are you the only person on the planet that works at the station that knew who this guy was?
The only thing is I'll say it to him sometimes. I'll say it to Andrew sometimes. I'll be like, I'll throw it out. I'll go, yes. I said, because I have a 21-year-old, and she likes Call of Duty. She likes the gangster. What's the car game?
GTA.
Exactly.
What?
The one with the filthy? She likes all that stuff.
See, you see why I didn't think you knew who this guy was.
No, I don't know who he is, but I know who he is just from knowing the name.
By the way, I can't wait to play GTA 6 in the retirement home.
Oh yeah, 70 years.
Got delayed again.
Will you play it though? You will.
Oh, absolutely.
By the way, that is the filthy edition though. It was a shock the first
GTA
time.
5?
The first time that I think that what was it? They were driving through the town and shooting, and then they were. All kinds of great.
Then you go. Then they went to the club afterwards.
I'm like, yo, Liv.
That's a normal Tuesday for me.
What's this game?
What you do, bro?
What is this game?
Coming up next, we want to hear from you. 610-632-0975. Shout out to our YouTube feed for being so involved on today's topic. What is your overall level of confidence for the Philadelphia Eagles? If you want to focus on just Sunday's game, you can. I don't feel great. But overall about the team, yeah, I feel good. It just hasn't felt like a 1 seed. There's been so many storylines, so much complaining, and then you sit back and you go, Damn, they're on top of the NFC. Now, I know that I'm the dark, rainy cloud, so tell me if I'm out of line with a reaction that I have to a clip that I heard. Kevin Patullo almost seemed to make an excuse for something that you, to me, get no defense for. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
The Fanatic's Andrew DiCecco, the Philadelphia Inquirer's Jeff McClain.
Here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic. You can text in at 610-632-0975. Where is your confidence level when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles? It's a very open-ended question. I understand that. Now, I need you guys to tell me if I am just sort of being such a dark, rainy cloud that this is unfair or that I am out of line.
Yes.
Or a big wussy boy.
No,
You can use that term if you'd like to use that
Now,
term.
knowing you, you're actually going to probably agree with me on this one.
Okay.
So yesterday, Kevin Patullo spoke to the media, and we will play his comments about A.J. Brown later. I saw in our YouTube chat, somebody, I think it was Trevor Rice, was like, please, God, tell me that A.J. Brown wasn't on some stream last night saying something so we don't have to talk about him for 4 hours.
Oh, no. Mr. I believe you're going to see a different.
Yeah, you think that ended things a little bit?
Well, yeah. I
Will
think,
A.J. Brown shave his head?
I think when Dad talks to you, that's happened.
So Kevin Patullo, after the first couple of questions about A.J. Brown, started to actually talk about the offense. And I want you to take a listen to this clip about some of the struggles that they've had maybe out of the gate starting some games. And to me, this is like an excuse that I don't really give you any credence for. Take a listen to Kevin
We've
Patullo.
had probably more this year than we probably had in the past. Now, as the game goes, you start to get a feel for things, kind of like the Vikings game, the Giants, when you start to feel the pattern. But I think it's been a little bit different this year. But really, even when you go back to all the way back to 22, that's kind of been a constant thing with us. Once we added AJ in there, and then we added Saquon last year, it really turned into more of a, okay, what are people going to try to do because of who we have? And it's like almost a wait-and-see game a little bit at times to see what people are going to do. And obviously Jalen's element with he can run and throw it and get out of the pocket. So then you have that in there too. That's why some weeks certain things appear and some don't, depending on the defensive game plan.
So he's talking about unscouted looks.
Okay.
And their game plan to start went against what they believed they were going to see from defenses. Now, I will give you that like the first couple weeks of the season.
Absolutely.
Right? Teams are different early on from the previous year. They have different players. They have different defensive coordinators. If a defensive coordinator got a new head coaching job or got fired, right? Like, I understand the first couple weeks of the season. They have played 9 games now.
I mean, come on.
Last week was their 9th game of the season. That means the Green Bay Packers, who also played their 9th game, there was 8 weeks of data that they could have used to look at looks. I'm not saying you know what they're going to do. That's what strategy is all about. You don't know exactly what they're going to do. But when I hear him say that on November 13th, like, yeah, man, we've been getting some looks that we weren't expecting. I don't like go, oh, okay, I understand. Like, I don't give you that excuse this late into the season.
No, and more importantly, what you got to do as a coaching staff is you got to say, this is the one we're preparing for, but what would they potentially throw at us that we're not expecting, so we know the counterpunch immediately what to do.
Not at halftime, like
No.
the second quarter.
No.
Or the third drive. Or, like, when I heard him say that yesterday, I'm sitting back on.
I got to tell you.
I don't like that you're saying that 9 weeks
That's
in.
a bad answer. I mean, I'm
not over the line.
No, you are not.
Okay.
We're already. I thought that was I thought arguably it was his worst answer yesterday. That was the idea is like, dude, it's almost Thanksgiving. You got to get rid of the crutch. Drop it. That can't work.
What did you
Can't
make of
say
that, Connor?
Yeah, I'm a positive guy. I'm racking my brain right now for any type of justification for him to say that at the point in the season we're in right now, and I cannot find one.
Like, you want to give me week 3? You want to give me after the Chiefs game?
That's different.
Steve Spagnuolo.
Totally different.
Totally get it. After the game against the Bucks, Todd Bowles. Like, I understand the Packers have a good defense, but we're talking about, well, you saw against the Vikings. So the game where the offense looked good, you had a good game plan is what you're telling me.
Sure, and even then, we know that a lot of those plays were broken.
Yeah.
At the base level, as an offensive coordinator at any level of
I don't
football,
need to hear that.
Your job is to figure out what the defense is going to try to do against you and build a game plan that counters it.
Yeah.
That is like your number one responsibility. And we're 10 weeks in?
They've played 9 games. It is mid-November, and we're talking about the unscouted looks. I'm sorry. You don't get that, like,
No.
You're right, Kev. You're right, KP.
No, I'm with you on this one.
No, that was not a good
Because then
moment.
that's an overall issue with the whole coaching staff then, right? This is like, we have so many good players. Dude, so far, the game plan has been stop Saquon, and it's worked.
And by the way, they have never found a way to adjust to that yet, like for the most part. To adjust to that.
I didn't like hearing that one all that much.
That wasn't good.
Part of this leads into my confidence in the team, though. There's so much stuff that they have not figured out We're still getting weird answers from the OC in Week 11, and they're 7-2, top of the NFC, beating probably the best grouping of opponents that you could have on your resume, and they're the defending Super Bowl champions. If they figure this out a smidge, they could probably walk to a Lombardi.
Maybe.
I truly believe this team will be better in December than they've been probably all year long.
Well, I hope so.
Like, this is going to, especially with young teams, this is really, the defense got a lot younger.
Yeah.
And the defense is clearly on an ascending path.
It absolutely
So
is.
to me, I feel really good about that. The offense, wow.
So Coach O'Hanlon checks in on our YouTube chat. Eagles lose big this weekend.
Wow.
And fail to get it done in the playoffs. I want the Bears to win, but the lack of offense and any trust would show improvement in the offense has me doubting this team. What do we have on the text line at 610-632-0975? That's our first, uber negative sort of response.
Well, he's been feeding off of your pathetic positive energy all week.
Yeah, I'm a rain cloud today.
I mean, my gosh.
What else we got?
No rain clouds, man. This texter checks in and says, we are the biggest, baddest kid on the block. Till you knock them off, the Eagles can win absolutely every single week, especially in the playoffs. Isn't it great to finally be that team? No worries. Come on, you great insult here. Lily livers.
Look, don't say lily livers. Hey, say lily liver. Because, Connor, you're not there, right?
I don't
No,
know.
it's just me.
I don't know
you're
what
not
that
there.
means. What does that mean?
That means you're a weak constant.
Yeah.
You have a weak constant.
Yeah.
You're not. You and I, we're both not feeling this way about this game. There's one weak liver in here, and it could be from years of abuse, and that could be Andrew Salciunas', but I think he's going to come around.
That's a fair
I think you're going to come around, though.
No,
And-
I'm not going to.
No, I think you're going to come around to a point where you're less negative on this.
Okay.
Because this is shocking.
Lily
Considering
liver.
Considering all the data I've given you, this is they're not a juggernaut outside of Detroit.
Lily livered, by definition, from Merriam-Webster.
Uh-huh.
All right, that now has 6-7 in it, by the way.
What do they know?
Oh, no, it does have 6-7
Oh,
in it?
yeah, it was the word of the year.
Oh, jeez.
That's not a word.
That's 2 words. Hyphenated, maybe.
It's stupid, but whatever. Lily livered, cowardly person. A person
Yeah.
who lacked courage, was believed to have a white liver because it had no yellow bile to color. Thus, a cowardly person was called white-livered, or more poetically, lily-livered.
Interesting.
By the way, Joe, one of our emailers, was upset with me. He goes, he sent it along, and I didn't see it. He came in last night. He goes, why were you so defiant trying to get Andrew to admit who A.J. Brown was talking about? We all know who A.J. Brown was talking about. He was talking about his coaching staff. He was talking about the game plan, and he was probably referring to the quarterback. I'm like, well, that's sort of the reason I was trying to push.
Yeah.
That we know that A.J. Brown's talking about somebody. So I was trying to get Andrew to say, but he goes, he wouldn't speculate, and that's his right not to do that. But that's the reason. We all know. He goes, we all know who he's talking about. So why did you need him to say it? Well, sort of the reason why I say to Connor, I need the coach just not to lie to my face.
Yeah.
Just stop lying. You don't have to throw your players under the bus. You can still be honest, and you don't have to trash them.
Coming up next, according to John Kincade, the Eagles need this on Sunday in order to win. It's not just more points. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Oh, let me tell you about my FanDuel Sportsbook app. Oh, how about this? FanDuel Fridays. Love it. This is so cool. FanDuel Fridays, in partnership with Valley Forge, is turning it up with NBA Happy Hour. You put Happy Hour next to something, I'm in.
See, that's why you're lily-livered.
You say, hey, yo, Andrew, happy hour? I'm in. Because you know me, I also like to do things early. Every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern, FanDuel is dropping limited time specials to get you in the zone. Boosts, bonuses, surprises, all designed to bring that Friday energy. It's not just another promo. It's your weekly pregame NBA happy hour every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern, only on FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Just visit FanDuel.com/Fanatic. That's FanDuel.com/Fanatic to grab your reward before the clock expires. You got to be 21 plus in present Pennsylvania. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
The Eagles finally getting healthy. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Eagles are looking pretty healthy heading into their Sunday night showdown with the Lions. The thought was coming out of the bye they'd be healthy for Green Bay, but a couple guys got banged up. Cam Jurgens didn't play, but yesterday's injury report, Cam Jurgens listed as limited. and he was the only player limited. So that's good news, and we'll keep an eye on that ahead of Sunday's big matchup. Eagles coordinators met with media yesterday. Kevin Patullos talked about trying to stay out of the negative plays.
The efficiency on first down or second down, I think we're very high right now in third and longs, and that's the issue. And so we really just got to continue to find ways as coaches to just stay out of those negative plays and stay out of things that keep us off track.
Hopefully that would be something to get the offense kick-started Sunday night. They're going to need it. Detroit comes into a pretty powerful offense themselves. Sixers and Flyers are both back in action tonight. Sixers play the Pistons in Detroit at 7:30 p.m. That game here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Flyers in St. Louis facing the Blues. An 8 p.m. puck drop. You can hear that game on WMMR. MLB handed out their MVP awards last night. Shohei Ohtani won unanimous NL MVP. Kyle Schwarber finished second. Trey Turner finished fifth. The Union continue their playoff run at home against New York City Football Club this Sunday, so something to keep an eye on there. Dave Burkett, who covers the Lions, joins us at 8:25. This update's brought to you by Audible. If you're stuck in traffic, Audible's romance collection will have you falling fast in the slow lane. Listen free with a 30-day trial at audible.com. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Now, before we get to what needs to happen, in your opinion, on Sunday in order for the Eagles to win, or one of the things.
It's going to make you feel better, though. How about
sure
this?
Hope so.
Hopefully, it'll make you feel better during the game
Okay, that'd be
when
nice.
you see it happen.
The Eagles injury report yesterday, very promising.
Very promising,
Everybody
yes.
that was on it earlier in the week was a full participant except for Cam Jurgens yesterday, who was limited.
My guess is another week.
Of missing.
Yeah.
Okay.
My guess would be another week.
Now, the Lions, on the other hand, a lot different. Sam Laporta did not participate yesterday. Neither did Kirby Joseph or Terrion Arnold. A lot of guys that were limited. Some notes. I saw this in the article from Jimmy Kempski of the Philly Voice. Penny Sewell and Aiden Hutchinson, who were out Wednesday, they were back at practice yesterday, so they probably did like the what the Eagles do, the midweek
Little maintenance.
rest day.
Little maintenance. Jalen Carter's had a lot of that this year.
Sam Laporta, though, second straight day of missing practice, so that's not a good sign for him. And then Joseph feels unlikely to play. We already know that Reed is unlikely as well. If Arnold can't play because of his concussion, the Lions could be without 3 starting defensive backs.
By the way, when a Friday, just a little note for you, if you are in the protocol,
Sure.
and there's no practice Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the playing in the league, it's almost zero.
Okay.
It's almost zero because they know the league is watching very closely.
Sure.
So there's a really good chance he's not playing.
So,
if it watch today,
and maybe
watch today.
three players in the secondary did not play.
And that could be huge.
All right, you're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities on this Football Friday, brought to us by Norristown Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, driving to great deals at the fall sales event at Norristown Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, and get wicked good deals all month long on a Chrysler Dodge Jeep or Ram. Visit NorristownChryslerDodge.com. What needs to happen? One of the things that needs to happen in order for the Eagles to beat the Detroit Lions on Sunday, what is it, John Kincade?
All right, I'm gonna give this one, Connor. You say you're not a math guy.
No, absolutely not. Will there be numbers?
The Lions have lost 6 games in the last year, 2020, last year and this year. Okay, so if you're taking all last season and this season, they've lost 6 times. There are some consistencies in the Detroit Free Press. Thank you for some of this. There's one consistency about the Lions that is clear. When they're trailing at halftime, they lose. When this team is knocked, when you get up on them, how about this? When they're trailing in 20 minutes into a game under Dan Campbell in the last few years, they lose. Like, we're talking 5 minutes into the second quarter.
Okay.
You get up on this team, they lose. I looked at how many times, like the Eagles in the past, last year, this year, have come back, gotten off the mat, had that swagger, sort of the reason you should have some confidence that the Eagles are a tougher team, not lily-livered, those Eagles. Dan Campbell's teams are front runners. They are, in fact, the biggest front runner in the NFL in that statistic. They've lost every single game they've been trailing at halftime in the last 2 years under Dan Campbell with those 6 losses. They're 0-6 in their last 6 trailing at halftime. Most teams have a comeback when trailing at halftime, then in 6. They're running the streak right now of 6. They're not good. Of the playoff teams, they are a get out in front of you team. So it's monumental for the Eagles to get out there and take advantage of it. I'm actually advocating for something that I know will make Nick Sirianni lose his freaking mind, but it shouldn't.
Well,
and I have the numbers. Why?
Be aggressive.
Win the toss. Take the ball.
Oh, no defer.
Because you know what? The Eagles have had more success scoring on their first drive under Nick Sirianni when they have gotten the ball first than when they have deferred on their first possession when they get the ball.
Good luck.
They have, the numbers tell you, the Eagles are better scoring on their first drive. In fact, in 2022, every single time they got the ball first, they scored. Every single game they got the ball first, they scored.
I believe the numbers. Jordan Mailata accidentally said they wanted the ball in Green Bay, and Zach Bond almost strangled him at midfield.
Yes.
So good luck getting Sirianni to do that.
Well, what I'm just saying to you is that I love what Jordan Mailata, because I think Jordan Mailata is one of those people who want the ball. Against the Detroit Lions, getting out to a lead on this team is absolutely something that all the self-scouting that Nick Sirianni and his crew do if you get them behind and you get them behind early, we're talking into the second quarter, halftime, this team is cowardly. They don't win. They're the cowardly Lions.
How about that?
They don't win. They don't have that fight, that guts, especially on the road.
Now, the good news is the Eagles, first half points, they are sixth best in terms of an average this year. Now, Detroit is fourth.
Right.
The Eagles are sixth. Now,
I love that.
Second half, not so good. The Eagles are 25th.
Oh, my gosh.
In the NFL in second half points.
Oh, my gosh.
So, Kevin Patullo is telling you that sometimes they get caught off guard with unscouted looks, but then he's also not making halftime adjustments very well now, is he? Detroit, the best second half team in the NFL this year.
And
averaging 15.7 points per second.
And by the way, they got those points. They've lost every single time this year.
Well, they also run up the score.
Yes, they do.
You know, we've
kings
seen that.
They love to run. They're front runners.
Yeah.
That's who they are.
They're the Phillies.
They have to show you exactly. Once the Phillies get punched in the mouth, they're wandering off with their heads
actually
down.
Kind of scary. How can
Does it make you feel a little better?
So
a little better that you'd go, the Eagles can get out to a lead at home.
Here's what I'll say. Because of the injuries that the Lions are dealing with, if they're missing key members in their secondary, maybe the Eagles can get out to an early lead, but the Eagles better come out throwing.
I am hoping the Eagles lose the toss because I know that Nick Sirianni won't, because this is what we do. We defer. Even though the numbers,
pretty good record based off of it.
Well, if you're going to go,
that's what I'll tell you.
But if you're going to give me numbers, Nick, I'm going to say to you, but your offense is better. You score on more first drives when you take the ball, when you get the ball first. You are more successful than when you defer and get your first possession.
How about that? All right.
That's all I'm going to say.
Let's go to Alan in Jersey. Alan, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Good morning, gentlemen.
What's up, Alan?
Two things. First of all, offensively, okay, we scored 10 points against the Packers, okay. The Packers gave up 40 points against Dallas, our hated team. Number one. Number two, like the young lady said earlier, they don't have any receivers to challenge. Again, Jackson, we're hiding Jackson. If Laporta plays, which I really think he is going to play because they have a history, the Lions, reading up, that they like to rest the guy even if like he's dealing with a back injury. So
not if he misses Friday practice, they do not.
Okay, right. Okay, I'll give you that. But if he does practice today, I really think Laporta,
if he practices today, he'll play.
Right. The receivers and their tight ends, and even if Laporta doesn't play, like Tucker Kraft was a huge part of Green Bay. But remember, the week before, Green Bay scored 13 against the Carolina Panthers. So their offense and defense, this is a different – they have so many more weapons. Their running backs, their wide receivers, like you guys were right on. That's what I'm concerned about. But our secondary still, to me, has too many holes in it. I really believe that. I don't know why that wasn't addressed more in the draft. We kept drafting linebackers, which, again, I don't know why. N'Kobe Dean. I mean,
well, remember, N'Kobe Dean didn't come back till like 2 weeks ago. Now, Alan, I understand.
Right,
I understand everything that you're saying because trust me, I don't feel good about this game. I have one very important question.
It's a big question.
Who is the young lady that you are referring to?
You said the young lady. Who was that?
I worked midnight, so you got to excuse me. I'm a meteorologist.
Oh, okay.
So we work midnight, so I apologize.
It's all right. It's a good day. I thought Connor's in touch with his feminine side, but I didn't think it was Connor.
Alan, I don't know who you're listening to, man.
Look at that. Look at him. What are you lifting with Coach Carter?
As the young lady said, I was like, who's the young lady?
I'm talking like this for the rest of the show.
Yeah, what's up?
I'm lifting with Coach Carter.
Yeah, all right. Coming up next.
Coming up next.
As we continue.
Let's get the testosterone
as we continue the show.
All right,
let's call Dr. Avi Donapel in here. Please, we don't want to be mistaken for the young lady again.
Here, go rip some heaters in between break, bring this voice down.
Seriously, man.
Jeez, that's awesome. That was awesome.
I understand his points.
I don't understand his points. He didn't bring up the Detroit defense. Which,
No,
by
he's
the way,
worried about
there's plays to be made all day long against Detroit's defense, and that's if they're healthy.
He was more worried about the Eagles' defense against the
which is crazy.
the skill player. Well,
no, it is. It's crazy to be more concerned about that. It is.
Yeah, I mean, he mentioned Adoree Jackson. We'll see how Adoree Jackson is against Jameson Williams.
We will, but the Eagles' defense is clearly superior to Detroit's defense. Clearly. It's not even close. The Eagles' defense is much, much more. No NFL general manager would say, yeah, give me that Detroit defense.
All right, coming up next.
Young lady.
Vic Fangio seems to live by the old rule of keep it simple, stupid. And I love that about him. It is Andrea, Joanna, and Connor's kind of multi-sexual name, right?
It is.
No.
It's not a very manly.
Kincade
Let's go,
Salciunas,
Connie.
97.5 The Fanatic.
The
Vic Fangio, because
awesome.
he just keeps it simple. It's part of the reason why I value defense more than offense sometimes, because like the way you talk defense is just go hit somebody, right?
Get after somebody.
Obviously, it's more complex than that, but like, you know, the Mike McDaniels of the world, there's a reason why he's an offensive mind and not a defensive mind.
Hey,
right?
where's capris? I mean, seriously. Can you see Vic Fangio wearing capris?
No.
Thank
no,
you.
I can't. I see Vic Fangio literally
you.
wearing a sweatsuit in 95-degree weather.
Could you see Matt LaFleur wearing capris? Yes. You could. Exactly.
So Vic Fangio, I love this man
No
because
offense, Connor.
he just keeps it simple and doesn't overthink it. I want to play 2 clips for you. The first one, here he is talking about Jalen Phillips.
You guys saw it. Plays hard. He's strong at the point. Good pass rusher. When you shop at Nordstrom's, you get good stuff.
When
I
you
love
shop
that.
at
I love
Nordstrom's.
that. And he adds the S to Nordstrom's.
He pluralized it. Nordstrom's.
That's I love Vic Fangio's simplicity.
But it goes back to the draft conversation that we've had a million times. You know, you draft guys from Georgia and Bam, and you go, wow, you mean to tell me these guys are better than who's the linebacker from Colorado that played 5 seconds?
Davion Taylor.
Davion Taylor, who had never played
Who
had never played football until a certain time. Connor,
that was when Howie was going through his "I'm smarter than everybody" phase.
we're going to surprise you with guys that we found because we scouted them. Connor, plays to, though, your idea yesterday where you're like, John, what does it matter if Nick Sirianni lies to you? Listen to Vic Fangio talk. Vic Fangio never lies to us.
No.
Vic Fangio tells you if a guy's no, he isn't good enough to play. Last year, Bryce Huff, he isn't good enough to play. He hasn't come along fast enough, so he's got work to do. And I'm not. I don't look at what guys make.
But
I don't look what guys
here's
make.
the thing: Vic
Be
Fangio,
honest.
Vic Fangio has always done that.
He's always been
and
that
Nick
way.
Sirianni has always been the way that he's been.
And I get you, but I prefer people who aren't going to pee on your leg and tell you it's raining.
Right, but Vic Fangio was this guy in Miami and didn't win crap. Like, here's the thing. It works some places. It doesn't work other places, so that should show you there's not a finite way to do one thing.
Well,
it's just the type of guys they are.
See, now I would personally tell you that in any walk of life, the way to deal with people is not to bull crap them, is to just say it. Get some real productivity done by just telling people the real scoop. Talk to people. If you have a problem or you got an issue, just get it out there and get it done. And don't have to. There's no sugarcoating.
But I'd rather Nick Sirianni handle it the way he's handling it than the way Brian Dable reportedly handled it in New York.
Did you hear that?
I will tell you in a second, but I want to play you one more Vic Fangio clip. Sort of the exact same idea of Nordstrom's.
Yeah, I think the more good players you have out there, it's going to benefit everybody. That's not rocket science. When you get disruptive players, other players fall in the plays. You know, like on the sack that Jalen got. I mean, Jalen really made the play, applied the pressure, and flushed the quarterback. Jalen finished it. You know, so the more players you have that can do that, the better off.
Better players, better results.
I love it. It's a great slogan.
By the way, the Eagles have a lot of good players on offense. Where are the results?
Yeah, well, they don't have a coach that has the pedigree or the just instincts that Vic Fangio has.
Yeah. Now, this Brian Dable thing. Did you see this, Connor?
Nope.
Ah, dude.
I saw just the headline to it.
Here's a quote from the story from Jordan Renan, who does a great job covering the Giants. We had him on not that long ago.
Good dude.
According to an anonymous player in-house, one player recently told ESPN of Dable exploding and threatening to take away play calling from assistant head coach, offensive coordinator Mike Kafka after tight end Theo Johnson dropped a crucial third down pass downfield against the Eagles. So he threatened to take away play calling from a guy when a player dropped the pass.
Makes sense.
In other words, he's saying you're picking the wrong guy to go to in a clutch situation?
Yeah, maybe.
I guess that's it.
But apparently he was very aggressive with people often in-house.
There was a couple stories out of the New York Post. Now, take it for what it's worth, but some really good writers up there. That one of the things that he would do when he was angry, when he gets angry, is he touches you. Like he goes like
hands off,
he's a like touch grab a guy's not physically assault them, but he's like look like grabs them.
Yeah.
And that was really not well thought of with people. I got to tell you, keep your hands off me.
Yeah, don't touch me, dude.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
I can't believe that would ever even be tolerated.
Now, I still stand by what my belief is I understand that they blew all those leads, but like when you had Jackson Dart's helmet get ripped off and you called a design run the next
I
play,
think he wasn't paying it. To me, that's a coach. That's a play caller too.
Like,
that's
you're out.
by the way, that's a play caller too.
Yeah.
And they gave Kafka's calling the shots right now, and he's the one who called that play.
Right.
To me, that's a coaching staff not paying attention.
Like both of them.
With Jackson Dart, it's like this is the call I have on my sheet. My next call, in this situation is this, and they're not paying attention to the guy just got his helmet.
Yeah, I don't think that's
destroyed.
what that is. I think that's when a lifeguard jumps in the pool and tries to save someone who's drowning, and they try and drown the lifeguard because anybody going down, like you have to do anything you can to save yourself. Brian Dable's job was in Jackson Dart's hands, and he's like, we're going to use you whether you're hurt or not because you need to save my career.
And it really was. I mean, obviously it was on life support.
Like when he's going into the blue tent trying to get him out. Like, that's ridiculous.
Which, by the way, was even they talked about with Schefter even talking about that's like really badly.
He got fined.
in the league.
They got fined a lot of money.
The league doesn't want you anywhere near there.
No. Let's go to Bob in Arlington. What's up, Bobby? Good morning.
Good. How are you guys? Great show. I think if we can beat the Lions if we can tame Jared Goff and David Montgomery and Amon St. Brown, and because we had such a great defensive game against the Packers, I think if our defense can be up to the task.
Yeah, I mean, my first thought is
energy.
My first thought is Jahmyr Gibbs though before David Montgomery.
Gibbs
trying to contain him.
Gibbs to me is the scary one because I don't know how they're going to utilize him.
Yeah, they can use him so many different ways.
Like he is the literal Swiss Army knife that is lethal. Absolutely.
You feeling good, Bobby?
Yeah, I'm feeling really great about this game because our defense has been really great in the past. And I think if our defense can contain those three guys, we can beat this team. And I think the Eagles can win. And if we score more touchdowns than them, because Jared Goff is a pretty good quarterback.
Bob, I love your end.
You're the
love
man, Bobby. Enjoy the rest
love
of your
the
Friday.
energy
Have
there,
a great
Bob.
weekend. Score more points.
Does Bobby make you feel a little better?
No.
Okay. Just saying. See, Bobby's positive energy makes me feel a little better. I like that because I already feel good about it.
Feeling good.
I already do, but I think then I got Bobby on my back. I mean, that's good. Good job, Bobby.
One of his points was to score more points. All right.
Well, are you going to argue with this logic?
No, that is.
Are you going to argue with the logic?
That is factually correct. All right, coming up next, how much worse does it make you feel that you had 2 top 5 MVPs and a runner-up for Cy Young? It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic. All right, let's talk about your house. Is it time to pull out those holiday decorations? I know it almost is in the Salciunas household. 10 days from now will be my lovely bride's birthday. Yeah, she's a couple weeks older than me, Cougar. Do you store them in an out-of-sight space like your basement?
So much better looking.
Just not arguing that one. Maybe when it's in your basement, you obviously need to make sure that your basement's safe and dry. Because if your basement is showing any problem signs like condensation, wet floors, walls, musty smells, mold and rot, well, Groundworks knows that these signs can be an indicator that your home might be due for basement waterproofing. If you have all those holiday decorations down there that you spent money on over the years, and then all of a sudden you got a pool in your basement, that stuff's going to get destroyed. I can actually tell you that off of experience. When I lived in Manayunk and my basement got flooded, the amount of water that went inside the ornaments that we had, mold grew inside it. Like, it's horrible. So make sure that your basement is waterproof. Groundworks is here to help. The experts at Groundworks knows what works and what doesn't. From wall anchors to vapor barriers, sump pumps, dehumidifiers, they've seen it all, and they can do it all. This includes encapsulating your crawl space, too, making that a safe space for your valuable belongings and added storage. They'll work with you to find the permanent solution your basement and crawl space needs to stay dry year-round, not just this winter, but year-round. It's not worth risking damage to your valuables. Just visit groundworks.com for a free inspection and no-pressure quote today. Groundworks will inspect your whole home to find the cause of the problem and fix it once and for all. Groundworks, there's a reason why they're the trusted local experts.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Good injury report for the Birds. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Eagles looking pretty healthy as they get ready for their showdown with the Lions on Sunday Night Football. Yesterday, Cam Jurgens was the only limited player listed on the Eagles injury report. We'll keep you updated on his status ahead of Sunday, but the limiting of the Detroit offense is going to be a difficult part of the task on Sunday, and Vic Fangio talked about that yesterday.
They got a lot of talent on that side of the ball. They got the best O-line in the league. Quarterback, according to Dan's, playing the best that he's ever played. 2 good running backs. The receivers are all fast. You know, it's a good unit to be calling plays for.
We'll be keeping an eye on all of that ahead of Eagles-Lions. Sixers and Flyers both back in action tonight. Sixers play the Pistons in Detroit, 7:30 p.m. tip-off. That game here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Flyers in St. Louis facing the Blues, 8 p.m. puck drop. That game over on WMMR. Major League Baseball handed out their MVP awards last night. Shohei Ohtani won unanimous NL MVP. Kyle Schwarber was second. Trey Turner finished fifth. The Union continued their playoff run Sunday at home against New York City Football Club. And we'll talk to Dave Burkett, who covers the Lions, for the Detroit perspective on the matchup. He joins us at 8:25. This update's brought to you by Philly Sports Trips. Bill Colarulo will be hosting the True Fan Tailgate before the Eagles-Lions game this Sunday, November 16th. Brought to you by True Fan Travel on 97.5 The Fanatic. All-inclusive food, drinks, live entertainment, and a short walk to the stadium. Reserve your spot now at phillysportstrips.com. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Out of left field question for you, John Kincade, because you are a man who is pretty good with money, and you have guys that you trust.
Yes.
Did you ever invest into the Bitcoin?
I did not. I absolutely was, in fact, told to stay away from it.
It has dipped below $100,000 for the first time since something. Like it's dropping.
That doesn't mean you couldn't have made some money in the short term.
Yeah.
But long term invest. No,
I just remember
much
that
more
was
stable than
that.
But I.
Dude, when that came out, like that was like all the rage.
But I thank back in the day, there's guys like Dan White and Associates who help people with with their money and can give you those great insights. I thank Ted Jenkin for John. You are not a weed partaker, but you need to be a weed investor.
Hell yeah, man.
And as I said to you,
you're welcome.
We're just using the expression. I was hesitant because I wasn't a consumer, and he got me into it. I'm thrilled.
You're welcome.
I'm thrilled he got me into it.
He should give me I should get a cut.
I'm thrilled he got me into it and he got me in early, real early.
Yeah.
So good stuff.
So for the people that do have the Bitcoin, I'm sorry for your morning.
Well, I mean, look, there's a lot of.
It's been a rough day. Apparently.
It's rough. Yeah.
All right. The Philadelphia Phillies had 2 top 5 finishers for the National League MVP, and they also had the runner-up for Cy Young, and they lost in 4 games. But don't worry, it was just to a good club.
Yeah, they lost to a good club.
Well, they did. They did lose to the World Series.
They lost, but they shot themselves in the foot in all 3 of their losses.
Yeah, no, it was horrible.
Terrible.
And those 2 top 5 finalists, Kyle Schwarber and Trey Turner, did absolutely nothing in this series except for one game when Schwarber played really well, and that was the one game that they won. But Kyle Schwarber was the runner-up to the unanimous MVP winner, Shohei Ohtani. I'm not surprised that Ohtani ended up winning. If you remember, there was a legitimate talking point for Schwarber to have been getting votes. But unanimous?
Unanimous? It's crazy.
All 30 votes go to Ohtani.
That's ridiculous.
And some of the nonsense that I remember was, well, he does more than just hit. He's also a pitcher.
What?
He was pitching 4 innings.
Yeah.
They were trying to limit his arm.
I'm officially over Major League Baseball awards. I am. Paul Skeens being unanimous over Christopher Sanchez.
Which was MLB Network did a nice thing on it.
Yeah.
And then they were like, Paul Skeens had a great year.
He deserved
it. It's ridiculous that he was unanimous.
Well deserving of winning the award.
Absolutely.
Unanimous was ridiculous.
Unanimous was stupid.
And then the American League is ridiculous. That's bull. I'm so over this, I don't even care about it.
Yeah, so Aaron Judge won the American League MVP over Cal Raleigh, which
I don't agree with.
I think is criminal to the sport of baseball. Considering what Cal Raleigh did for an organization that does not have the pedigree of the New York Yankees.
It's unbelievable.
And, oh, by the way, Cal Raleigh, more home runs, more RBI. And Cal Raleigh was the focal point of that team. Now, I understand so was Aaron Judge and the Yankees. But Cal Raleigh also plays catcher. And I don't know how that does not cross the mind of a voter. The everyday grind, and oh, by the way, he played almost every day.
He did.
The grind that's why what JT Realmuto still is able to do, at least defensively, is impressive at his age, right? Amazing. What Cal Raleigh does for his team, calling the rotation, the pitching staff, what he does behind the plate. Oh, by the way, he's a great defensive catcher, too. It's not like he hits bombs and sucks behind the plate.
He's won a platinum glove before, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, he has.
He's unbelievable.
I don't know how he was not the American League MVP.
I think I know.
Why?
How often do people that are, remember, a lot of the people voting on this are guys who are covering major league teams. Okay?
So they're watching Yankees games.
They're watching those games.
Mariners games.
How often are the Mariners even focused covered on national TV?
Sure.
So all they're hearing is numbers. They're not seeing it. If they saw it more, it would be a simple decision.
Well, then shame on them.
No, I agree with you, but that's one of the reasons why I don't like it, that the writers have so much power in a sport, because they think it's 1950.
Well,
and the writers are the only ones, and they sit in the front row. Don't sit in the front row, by the way. Don't go to the baseball press box and sit in the front row, because the Major League Baseball Writers Association will take you out at the knees. Can't do it because that's for the writers. They get their typewriters out, and they're writing great stories.
Now, to your point about
swing and a miss,
the writers being able to dictate these things.
It's unbelievable. It's archaic.
So, look, again, no problem with Ohtani winning MVP.
No.
Unanimous was ridiculous.
Yes.
But there's this guy, Derek Gould, Goold. lead baseball writer for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
Okay. Good paper.
He voted Ohtani. Then he went Juan Soto.
What?
Then he went Geraldo Perdomo.
What?
Then he went Paul Skeens. He voted Kyle Schwarber 5th.
Okay, that's ridiculous.
And to me,
That's ridiculous.
Mr. Gould, somebody asked him, why did you do that? He said, I had him 4th or 5th. I ultimately decided to put my top pitcher pick at 4, given his performance and how he stood out. It was just a call between a pitcher does to influence his games ahead of what Schwarber does. Yes, Skeens does influence games. Trust me, when he pitches, he's very good.
Yeah, how did they do?
But he influences once a week.
Correct.
Kyle Schwarber, quite literally, and again, this goes to your point. Derek Gould, who covers the Cardinals, is not watching the Phillies and probably did not notice, because how many times did we read articles, the reason why people still pick the Phillies to win the World Series as late as, late September was because of, look at the roster.
Correct.
Well, Harper wasn't Harper this year.
No.
Turner missed a lot of time. JT wasn't Real Muto until really the second half of the season.
And then in the second half, he went nuts.
Yeah, but Kyle Schwarber was the one constant from opening day until game 162, except for maybe, 2 one-week stretches where he went cold? Kyle Schwarber, 5th? I'm not sitting here saying he should have won MVP.
No. You're not making that case. You're saying it's ridiculous.
How could you vote him 5th?
Because people are idiots with agenda, and there should be a wider base that's allowed to vote.
No DH should ever win MVP.
Yeah,
that's what they'll tell you.
There should be Ohtani's won it as a DH.
These people literally don't vote for guys because they weren't nice to them in the clubhouse.
But Schwarber's nice to everybody.
No, I got you. But this is why those you're saying about a wider field of voters, it needs to be, because they vote agendas. Oh, this player wasn't nice to us in the clubhouse. This player, I don't like their politics.
Yeah.
They literally will make decisions based on their own personal morals, and these are the same people who literally turned a blind eye to the fact that McGuire and Sosa were roided up like superheroes.
With boils on their backs.
And they wrote about it as if it was breathless, like they were teenage girls. There's the star quarterback. And then after the fact, they're clutching their pearls going, oh, my gosh, there was a steroid scandal. They cheated the game. As if they couldn't see it with their own damn eyes. It's amazing.
Now, Neil in our YouTube chat. Judge put up ridiculous numbers. Can't argue that.
He did.
He did, some historic numbers. The only way it was close is because Raleigh played catcher. Otherwise, it should have been unanimous. Dude, Cal Raleigh hit 60 bombs.
Oh, my gosh.
Did we watch this season?
He hit 60 home runs and drove in 125 RBI.
Are you kidding me? And he's playing the toughest position in the sport.
Well, he says that's the only reason why, because...
Well, no, but the 60 bombs may have something to do with it, too.
60 home runs.
Oh, my gosh. Come on. You know what, though? That's East Coast baseball fan. Because you're not watching what he's doing, because we don't get exposed
Not
to it.
all of us were Ichiro fans growing up.
And the networks don't
still watch the Mariners.
And the networks don't give them their love. Seattle's a really good team. They were fun to watch.
It's just it's nuts.
Here's the bottom line. Take Cal Raleigh out of it, take Aaron Judge out of it. If you show me a platinum glove caliber catcher hitting 60 home runs, and that season does not win an MVP, what the hell are we even doing?
Well, then you're
this
saying
for?
Aaron Judge, the historic number, because he did.
Okay, screw it. Guess what? For the next 20 years, Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani are the AL and NL Cy Young MVP. I'm so mad I don't even know the awards. This is ridiculous.
They might be, dude.
It's
Then just give it to them and cancel the season. Dodgers are champions.
Connor,
who cares?
Connor, I applaud you.
It's so stupid.
I applaud your passion because
way.
it's absolutely absurd that it's like, oh, wait a minute, we're just going to ignore what he does. Yeah, playing catcher and hitting 60 bombs. It's incredible.
Judge
Compared
led
to
the
Judge.
majors in on-base percentage, slugging, OPS, intentional walks, WAR, runs, walks, extra base hits, total base. Yeah.
WAR, what's it good for?
He had a pretty good season.
He did.
I'm not saying he had a bad season.
No, we're not saying he had a bad season.
Nobody thinks
But
those guys
seriously,
stink.
Did Cal Raleigh not have a... if someone's going to tell me he had a historical season...
I think Cal Raleigh should have won MVP.
Yes.
I stand by that. All right, coming up next, saying that a 7-2 team is doing something worse than any other team since 2014 literally makes no sense to me. However, the Eagles have made no sense to me. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Hey, I love Bernard.
It's 7:40 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Remember how I told you we had some like 85 dead ladybugs
Yeah, what's going on
here
now?
at the station by the window? And
Yeah.
a dead bee. Well, I found a ladybug freezing, so I picked them up.
Picked her up?
Or her. I don't know. We're all
It's a
ladybugs,
ladybug-
ladies.
No, I'm just saying it's a ladybug.
Oh, YouTube debut, Ladybug.
So
There
we got,
it is.
So we get a graphic
Is it
for Ladybug?
frozen?
It was, well, no, its legs were churning, but it was upside down. I said, you know what?
Give it some help.
And I breathed on it a little bit, and now
Give it a little warmth.
Now he or she is hanging out with me here in the studio.
Put them on the mic. Eagles, Lions. Who are you taking?
The ladybug.
No comment.
Wasn't that the?
I like the strong silent type.
That was a bad. That was a bad Rodney Dangerfield
I'll
movie.
put it on top of the monitor.
There it is. We'll see if it comes to life.
So
or she.
it's moving. There it goes.
There you go.
So there you go. YouTube. We got.
By the way,
we got
very
a new,
good luck.
New friend of the show.
They're very good luck. The ladybugs.
All right. Real quick. One more thing, baseball related, before we get back to our Eagles discussion. Did you guys see the All MLB first team was announced yesterday as well?
No.
Catcher Cal Raleigh, not good enough to win MVP, but
Yeah.
first team. Otani was the DH. Vlad Jr. was the first baseman. Ketel Marte, future Phillies second baseman. Jose Ramirez at third. Bobby Witt Jr. at short. Your outfield, Soto, Julio Rodriguez, Aaron Judge. No, Brandon Marsh, Max Kepler, Nick Castellanos did not make the cut. Your relief pitchers,
You're gonna miss Casty though.
I will.
I will.
Aroldis Chapman and Johan Duran. There you go. We got one Philly on there.
He has a.
Your starting pitchers. Scooble. Fine.
Fair.
Skeens. Fine.
Okay. Fine. Yep. No brainer.
Yamamoto, Crochet, and Max Fried.
What?
That's kind of weird.
So the runner-up to the NL Cy Young Award did not make the first team. If I'm Christopher Sanchez, I would find out if the league is colluding against me.
Okay, that makes no sense.
The All-Star thing.
No, the All-Star thing. Remember, he turned down too. He turned down the trip because of the fact that he wasn't going to be able to pitch, too. So remember that.
No, that was Ranger.
No, I thought he also turned down.
I don't
the
think
trip.
Christopher. No, because he was extremely upset.
Really.
Yeah,
I don't remember
think
it that
so.
way.
So All-Star, Skeens unanimous, and he's not even first team All MLB.
Wow.
I'm telling you, they're colluding against Christopher Sanchez.
That's not good. I didn't
I don't
remember it that way.
understand.
I got to look at that. I don't remember it that.
All right, John. I need you to explain to me how the 7-2 Eagles,
Yes.
defending Super Bowl champions,
Yes.
one seed in the NFC. I keep on telling you, the most confusing team ever.
Yeah.
How are they doing something worse than any team since 2014?
They're 3 and out more than any other offense in the NFL since 2014. And they literally, Dennis Selman is a really good follow on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's DENIZ Selman, 33. He's got the chart out there too of the 3 and outs through week 10. So it's through week 10 of the season. 9 games for the Birds. They have the worst 3 and out rate in the entire NFL since 2014. That's terrible.
Yeah,
That is terrible. But
that's impossible.
But when you try to criticize, unfortunately, and I think the Eagles press corps has been pretty bad with it. You try to criticize, you bring up, well, there's an offensive coordinator who's not getting the job done. Guess what? They're not getting the job done. And everybody's got to stop being upset about it. Well, there's a lot of things. It's Kevin Patullo, but there's a lot of things. Yeah, there's a lot of things. The worst 3 and out rate
In 11 years.
since 2014. That's terrible.
And it makes no sense because the Eagles are 7-2 and they're the number 1 seed in the NFC.
terrible
Now, I told you,
by any standard.
efficiency is like the word, right? And remember,
Okay.
if you remember, during the summer, I was saying I think that's the new buzzword because Sirianni was saying efficiency
Oh, he
or
used it
efficient
over and over.
a million times. That's almost like, all right, this is the word that I'm going to use to describe this offense constantly. Here's Kevin Patullo talking about how they need to work on the efficiency to limit 3 and outs.
So when you look at that and the self-scout stuff, and even last week, it's the efficiency on first down or second down, right? And you get to those, I think we're very high right now. I can't remember the exact number, in third and longs. And that's the issue. And so we really just got to continue to find ways as coaches to just stay out of those. And, sometimes penalties happen. I got it. But we just got to stay out of those negative plays and stay out of things that keep us off track so we can stay in a manageable third down because we've been really good in that third and kind of short to medium and good on fourth down. And, as you know, we go for a lot of fourth downs. So that's kind of the key. If we're in range to go for it in fourth down, we're in good shape.
I'm convinced somebody's high. He says we're very high. Well, there's somebody's high. Maybe designing these plays. Maybe a little less of that.
No, because then you'd be probably more creative.
Very
Trust me.
creative.
Trust
Well,
me.
then
John.
maybe we want to stop at a dispensary
Jordan Mailata would have touched the football by now if somebody in there was smoking
that's a
something.
good
because
point.
it's unbelievable.
But it's amazing. Like we talk about efficiency, and they pride themselves on being an efficient offense. But you can't consider yourself an efficient offense
No.
if A, you're one of the worst 3-and-out teams. Period. Let alone the
in
fact that
11
it's the worst
years.
in 11 years.
It's terrible.
All right, our question
Like
today.
that's terrible.
Where is your confidence level with the Philadelphia Eagles? It's an open-ended conversation. What do we got on the text line?
All right, so we have a lot of people who actually are pretty confident on where the Philadelphia Eagles are right now.
Good.
Bill from Harleysville checks in, says it's chest day. I could see a repeat of the "is that what you wanted to see" Steelers game last year. This refreshed defensive line will have Goff seeing ghosts all day. 34-26 Birds.
I like that.
All right.
And he's not predicting like it's going to be some, whooping.
Yeah, no, the Lions are gonna score
He's
points.
giving the Lions are going to score. What did he say? What was the final?
34-26.
He's of the same mindset that I am. They don't
that
score
right?
more than 26.
How about that?
26 is the number.
All right, what else we got?
Mike from Levittown says, been saying it since spring. Best team in football. Quite frankly, nobody truly matches up to them as they are capable of doing everything and doing it well. You think Goff or Stafford will handle this defense now or in January? I don't know what that next sentence says, but best complete team in the sport. Do they feel like a 1 seed? Absolutely.
I will
And-
say
and
Stafford
handled this defense
Yeah.
really, really well last January. So yes, I could see him
Yeah.
doing it. And the Rams are better this year than they were last year.
Yeah, he's got a bad back.
But
Yeah, he's really
yeah,
he's
sure. That
playing
storyline-
great.
that storyline
He's
went
on
away.
MVP right
Yeah.
now. If the season's over, he's MVP
MVPs don't win Super Bowls.
right now. Yeah, it's okay.
They actually don't, which is kind of weird.
I
But,
got
yeah,
you.
because Patrick
Yeah.
Mahomes never won a Super Bowl.
oh, not
Please.
in the year that he's won MVP, has he?
I
Anyway.
would think he has.
I'm just gonna.
I would
I'm
think
gonna,
he has.
I'm gonna just throw a dart and
I
say
would
that
think he has.
I don't know.
I would bet that he has, but I'm not sure. I mean, Connor may be right with that one.
We'll reevaluate. Maybe in today's headlines, we'll have the conclusion.
Let's put it this way: is that Matthew Stafford is on a heater?
Yeah, he's
Like to say
he's been playing well.
he's been unbelievable.
Let's see here. Patrick Mahomes. I'll check this for you right now. Patrick Mahomes won an MVP in 2018. The Kansas City Chiefs
Did not win the Super Bowl.
did
that
not
year.
win the Super Bowl.
They won it in
lost
19.
to the Patriots.
They won it in
And
19.
he won an MVP in the year the Eagles lost to them in the Super Bowl.
There you go. So Connor, there it is. Now
Fair enough.
that's one of those stats that means absolutely ridiculously nothing, but it is factually correct.
Thought that was a Lamar year.
That is a factually
What
correct.
else? What else we got on the text line?
Probably a bunch of people calling me a moron right now, but we'll check
No,
anyway.
you were right.
No,
he was wrong.
You just
Oh,
said
you
I
was wrong on
wasn't.
that. Oh, you were wrong on that one. No, what could you?
All right, this texter might be too confident. They say my confidence moving forward is this offense should put 35 plus on the board every single week, but I know they won't, and that is infuriating. What is the lowest ranked offense of all time to win the Super Bowl? The 2001 Ravens. If the offense doesn't start performing, I say they win 1 or 2 playoff games max.
Look, I'm not even asking for 35. I just want to be consistently in the 20s.
By the way, passing game's better this year. It's bad,
It's bad.
but it's better this year than it was last year, and they won a Super Bowl.
Well, they've had
running
they've
game
had
was
to,
so-
they've had to throw the football.
Right, the running game was so awesome last year.
They've had to throw the football more this year, as we kind of expected before the season started. All right, coming up next, the new buzzword, or the buzzword that we've heard all season long for the Philadelphia Eagles: efficiency. We heard more of it yesterday from Kevin Patullo. He spoke about that, and also he spoke about A.J. Brown. You'll hear those coming next. More of your text messages, the overall sort of open-ended conversation. Where is your confidence level with the Philadelphia Eagles? Not just for Sunday's game, but moving forward. They're the most confusing 7-2 1 seed that I can imagine. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. All right, let's talk about that FanDuel Sportsbook app. Happy hour. It's like when you say happy hour, I go, you rang? FanDuel Friday in partnership with Valley Forge is turning it up with NBA Happy Hour. Every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern, FanDuel is dropping limited time specials to get you in the zone. Boosts, bonuses, surprises, all designed to bring that Friday energy. It's not just another promo. It's your weekly pregame. NBA Happy Hour every Friday, 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. It's only on FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Just visit FanDuel.com/Fanatic. That's FanDuel.com/Fanatic to grab your reward before the clock expires. You got to be 21 plus and present in Pennsylvania. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Eagles looking at efficiency. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Birds, well, they're looking pretty healthy to start heading into their Sunday night showdown with the Lions. And yesterday's injury report only had Cam Jurgens as the limited player. Nobody else was listed as limited or out. So we'll keep you updated on Jurgens' status ahead of Sunday's matchup. But Kevin Patullo talked about, well, trying to figure out the efficiency and staying out of the third and long type of plays with the offense.
It's the efficiency on first down or second down. I think we're very high right now in third and longs, and that's the issue. And so we really just got to continue to find ways as coaches to just stay out of those negative plays and stay out of things that keep us off track.
As you just heard the guys talking about, the Eagles have not been great at that this year, so we'll be watching that closely on Sunday. Sixers and Flyers both back in action. Sixers have the Pistons, 7:30 in Detroit. Flyers have the Blues, 8 p.m. in St. Louis. The Sixers game is on 97.5 The Fanatic right here, and the Flyers are on MMR. MLB handed out their MVP awards last night. Shohei Ohtani won National League MVP unanimously. Kyle Schwarber finished second. Trey Turner finished fifth. The Union continued their playoff run Sunday at home against New York City FC. And Dave Burke, who covers the Lions, will join us at 8:25. This update is brought to you by Electrical Workers Local 269, the Electrical Training Alliance, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 269, NECA, and the Electrical Training Alliance can offer a career with no college debt. To learn more, go to IBEW269.com. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic.
97.5 The Fanatic. John Kincade is over my shoulder. Here, John, slide over. So, in case you guys missed it, I saved a ladybug, and I gave it some water. I flipped a cup upside down because there's a little rim, so there's a little bit of a pool of it. And
Ladybug is drinking.
yeah, he crawled over. I named him Little Dude.
And you're saying it's a male.
Sure. But
Little dude it could go either way.
yeah, Little Dude could go either way, just like Connor.
His little legs are
All right, calm down.
I saved a life today. It was freezing out there by the window, and I made the trip over, and I said, "Come here, little dude." I warmed him up, breathed some hot air on him, and now he's drinking water.
What are you going to do at the end of the show, though?
He's on his own at 10 o'clock.
We're not running a charity here. Come on.
I already got one mouth to feed. I got to take care of Coop before I take care of little dude. All right, as you're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN, HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. We'll get back to our text messages on this Football Friday, but I want to play a couple of clips for you from Kevin Patullo, yesterday's press conference. Again, you already heard the previous segment talking about the efficiency and how it needs to get better because of the 3 and outs. Yeah, thanks, Kevin. I appreciate that. Take a listen to Kevin Patullo talking about how he values efficiency, and this kind of goes the exact same way Nick Sirianni talks about the turnover battle. Take a listen.
Really, when you look at it, it's just our overall efficiency. We do stuff as an offense after a game to kind of measure, third downs, red zone, all these efficiencies to show if we have the ability to win the game, right? There's kind of a chart that we have that shows negative plays, and it kind of contributes to how many negative plays do you have, how many penalties you have versus how many plays you have. Does it give you an opportunity to win the game? And were you efficient in all those game planned areas like 4-minute, red zone, 2 minutes? So that's kind of the thing that we like to look at after games, and I think it's really important for us because it paints a picture for the offense the day after the game, like, okay, were we at the number that we need to be efficient to have an opportunity to win the game, or were we below it? Why were we below it? It kind of paints the picture of what happened, whether it was negative plays, whether it was we were not good on third down, whether we were not good in the red zone. So I think that's the trick for us as an offense to see when you come out of a game. It gives you the idea of this is what we got to work on, right? Or this is what we were good at, and then kind of go from there. So I think that's the most important thing for us as an offense, to see what we want to do proceeding after a game.
I hear him talk, and I just go, all right, so then figure it out.
Okay, he talked in circles.
Because, all right,
this should be solved by this point. Using his logic, this should be solved by now.
We all agree, efficient in the red zone, right?
No,
Yeah.
they've been spectacular, and we praise them overwhelmingly for how good they are in the red zone.
Efficient in the red zone. I'm trying to figure out, when he talks about we just want to be efficient, maybe I'm just reading too much into the word and just getting obsessed over the word, but like Ben Johnson, explosive is the E word that he always
loves
uses,
that word,
right? Sometimes I think to a fault. Like, bro, you're having Jamison Williams throw a pass to Jared Goff in a playoff game, and it got intercepted. Like, wow. Like, that was stupid, right?
Well, again, if it works, it's not stupid.
Yeah,
it's a high risk.
That's a high risk.
It's a high risk play, but if it works, it's
whereas the Eagles would rather go low risk almost all the time, and against some teams that works.
Take it further, Connor. You were going to try to are you going to try to correlate that to a fourth down play at the end of a game where 99% logic is punt the ball?
Absolutely.
Well, please don't. Please don't.
I mean,
ridiculous.
I think the principle of if it works, it's smart. If it doesn't work, it's dumb and stupid in every situation.
No, people would have been like, "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?"
Yeah, I didn't like it at the time.
If it worked,
it's just I hear him talk about efficiency, and it almost just sounds like just a different way of how Nick Sirianni talks about the turnover battle thing, right? Like, the turnover battle, you're efficient in. But you're not efficient when you have the worst three and out rate since 2014.
I mean, it's and the weird thing I got to tell you, and it is, and you know how much of respect I have for the Eagles press corps.
Yes,
I'm shocked at how many just people fall all over themselves to be like Kevin Patullo. Though he's not that bad. Kevin Patullo, this is disgraceful. This resume of what this team is doing with a Super Bowl champion with all of this talent, it's a disgrace
because they're 7-2.
And but that's crazy though. It's crazy town. This is a they've taken a great sleek sports car and they've made it into a just a bummer.
I don't know. I mean, I think the way the season ended last year was a great sports car. I think there were points last year where it looked like, I don't know, a Honda Accord.
No, there were times. Hey.
Are you taking Carlos the
What?
Civic? Are you giving him trouble?
No. I mean, it's a fine car. It's a 7-2 car.
I can get that.
I got
No,
no
it is-
issue with that car.
I get that baby up to 80 before it starts rattling.
They
All right?
would kill right now to have the efficiency that they had last year. They would at this point.
Yeah.
By this point of the year, it was all figured out.
I just like when you say efficiency, like, all right, you can say that you are efficient in certain aspects of the game, but like, what about the 3 and outs? Like,
it's terrible.
That's not efficient. That's not an
Horrendous.
efficient offense, and that's not something that I believe you can sustain. And I think that obviously comes back to what A.J. Brown gets upset about.
it's
now,
the opposite of efficient. What they
Right.
are.
Now, speaking of A.J. Brown, as you could imagine, Kevin Patullo was asked about A.J. Brown. He talked about how they're in the office all the time, always hanging out, blah, 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 blah. But then the question of, well, how come he's not getting the ball, right? 3 targets after your self-scouting week. You had 15 days to come up with a game plan, and A.J. Brown had 3 targets, 2 of which were on the very first drive against the Green Bay Packers. Here's Patullo talking about A.J. Brown.
I think if you look at the style of defense we've played this year, kind of on a consistent basis, we've played obviously top-tier defenses and the pass rush and things like that, and we've done a pretty good job against them. I think it's just kind of been the situations we've been in and teams we've played kind of week after week. Has just had different games. Obviously, a couple weeks ago we had the Minnesota game. We had 2 receivers for over 100 yards, and then we had the 2 backs over 100 against the Giants. And then this one kind of felt a little, obviously not like we would like at all. Felt more like Kansas City kind of. So I think as coaches we look at that and we try to figure out, is there something that's constantly showing up? I wouldn't say it's the same thing every week. I think we're kind of in those spots where when you're game planning, you're still constantly adjusting. I know this year more than before, we've had a lot of different things once we get out there, and then we're adjusting constantly. So a lot of people say wait to halftime. Well, for us, it's literally been after the first series, it's like, okay, we got to start to adjust now and find things and kind of work on different plays and talk through plays that, hey, is this the coverage we thought we were going to get? No. So now we got to look to this and look to that. So I think there's a little bit of a difference from that standpoint. I think there's been more change within the game rather quickly rather than kind of game to game. It's been a little bit different, if that makes sense.
What about Jamar Chase?
Yeah.
What about CeeDee Lamb? What about Justin Jefferson? Would you stop with that nonsense? Seriously, that is a nonsensical answer. Insert the name of any other top wide receiver of A.J. Brown's caliber. Insert their name into that answer. And it would sound ridiculous because the point would be disproven by plugging any one of them in. Yeah. Not getting the ball to Dan Orlovsky has gone on about it on NFL Live quite often, and he's posted many a video. It's crazy.
A.J. Brown.
It's malpractice. He's not a top 50 wide receiver.
A.J. Brown is 43rd in the NFL for targets.
It's unbelievable.
So the other day I gave you the amount of yards, and he was around 50th, and the players around him. So here are the players around A.J. Brown. CeeDee Lamb. All right. Yeah, he missed how many games?
He missed the
with
games.
an injury.
Exactly. You can't do that with CeeDee Lamb today.
DK Metcalf, Romeo Dobbs, T. Higgins, Khalil Shakir, Harold Fannin Jr., Kyle Pitts, Dalton Schultz, Garrett Wilson, who's a very good receiver, but
He is.
They don't throw the ball in that offense.
Exactly.
Jawan Johnson, Brian Thomas Jr., Debo Samuel. These are players ahead of him, by the way, in terms of targets.
That right there, Jeffrey Lurie needs to have a conversation with Kevin Patullo. That needs to be the next big Dom setup. Get Kevin Patullo over there and figure it out, dude. Figure it out.
Maybe the more damning is the players behind him, like right behind him.
Oh, my God.
Alec Ayomanor from the Titans.
Who?
Travis Kelce. All right. Hunter Henry, Hollywood Brown, Alec Pierce, Jacoby Myers, Parker Washington, Theo Johnson, another Jawan Jennings. Olamide Zaccheaus is 3 targets, has 3 less targets than
that's
A.J. Brown.
Again,
Olamide Zaccheaus.
Well, now, slow down. We really like OZ. He's a great blocker, good special teams player.
Yeah, Nick Sirianni
to the Kevin Patullo apologists, there's no answer for that one. There's none. None.
Unless it's Jalen. It could be. Like Jalen has to throw him the ball.
No, because, I mean, if you just watch Orlovsky's breakdowns, there's plenty of times where they're not scheming him open enough.
Oh, no, that's
They're
got to
not.
change too, yeah.
And more importantly, like the slant patterns you talked about with him. The slant patterns, how many times is he running it? How many times is he running it? How many times is he open there in the flat where Jalen could just make an easy throw to him? It's not like it's happening all the time and you're going, man, there were 5 opportunities right there. Quick pass right to AJ, let him break some tackles. It's bad. It's bad, dude.
The next gen stats on NFL.com shows the weekly route tree.
Uh-huh.
I'll try to see how many slant routes he's run recently.
Right.
I'll try to find that out for us during the commercial break.
But then you also have to see how did the play break down with his offensive line.
Sure.
You see, that's what doesn't translate to that.
All right, coming up next, we have today's headlines with Connor Thomas. It is Kincade Salciunas, and little dude is still hanging, and he's drinking a lot of water, man. He's thirsty.
Okay, that's good. He's got to get his color back, it says, by the way.
Okay, I think it's coming back.
So that should help.
He looks good.
He's dehydrated.
All right, today's headlines with Connor Thomas next right here on Kincade Salciunas 97.5 The Fanatic. Now, Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic, presented to us by our friends at Norristown Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Driving to great deals at the fall sales event at Norristown Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. And get wicked good deals all month long on a Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram. Visit NorristownChryslerDodge.com. Shout out to the missus. Today is her last day at the job at Cooper University Hospital. She's going to start a new gig. As of Monday.
Is she a little emotional today?
She said she's a little bummed out because she's made a lot of friends over the years. I mean, she's been
she's
there for...
She's not bummed out about the new opportunity, but she's a little
But she's been there for 8 years, but decided to go in a different direction. Still in the healthcare field.
What are you guys doing? Mom and pop ladybug rehab?
So did you learn a little bit about the medical field from her? Is that how you nurse the ladybug back to life?
Yes, that's exactly how...
She's a kind soul. So there you go.
She's a good person. So congratulations to my beautiful wife. All right, it's time now for today's headlines with Connor Thomas.
Today's headlines with the Connor Thomas.
It's brought to us by Lundy Law. For over 70 years, Lundy Law has been fighting for injured people. If you need them, remember the name, Lundy Law. Maybe little dude has to call and make sure he's good set. Your injury lawyers, visit LundyLaw.com. That's LundyLaw.com.
What was that big sigh?
I've been saying it forever.
Okay.
It's the easiest thing to see in the world. And the Giants, it's just another point of why they're a bad football organization. So they've been having Russell Wilson back up Jackson Dart all year. And now, with Jackson Dart potentially out this weekend, they're saying, Jameis Winston, if Jackson Dart can't play, it's your gig. And sound bites like this are exactly why ever having Russell Wilson ahead of Jameis Winston on a depth chart is flat out dumb.
I'm going to have a surgical execution, and just play ball, man. Like, this is something I've been doing since I've been 4 years old. Now I just get to do it in the greatest city in the world. I'm going to be saying it with my son. It's the greatest city in the world. Yeah, that's a Hamilton reference if y'all don't know.
How would you ever start Russ over it?
He's a peach.
He is a really interesting character.
Yeah.
Just don't want to be at Publix. Don't want to own the Publix. Don't want to own the Publix.
I saw him. I still remember when we were in New Orleans for Radio Row.
He was having so much fun.
I went for my run because I ran almost every single day while I was down there, and I ran past the Shad Khan yacht, the gigantic.
It was amazing.
It was like 4 houses out on water, built into one. And Jameis Winston was doing whatever media, Fox he was with, right? He was going around on the Segway.
And he was having a blast.
I was like, what's up, Jameis? He waved back, and I thought of you, Connor, because I know that's your guy.
He is a definitely fun person.
Yes.
He absolutely is.
Sticky fingers, but a fun person.
20 years ago. Maybe UMass could use Jameis Winston at quarterback. I don't know if he still has eligibility, but they were down 45-0 to Northern Illinois recently. 6:13 left to play. I mean, that game's over, and nothing good can happen for UMass at that point. You just kind of take your lumps and you go home, unless you hit a 44-yard field goal. And then, after hitting that field goal to cut the deficit down 45-3, UMass, who was having a home game, decided they were going to set off fireworks.
No.
They set off stadium-wide fireworks for a field goal.
That's worse than Johan Duran.
45-0.
That's worse than Duran.
That's worse than the Phillies doing the Duran entrance.
I guess if you had the fireworks, people didn't want to unpack them, so you just
doing it twice too.
Yeah, you can't.
Doing it twice. It's unbelievable.
What do you even think if you're the players out there?
Well, they're not. It's not like there's a huge crowd or anything.
If you're the kicker, do you think he walked off the field going, "See, this isn't my fault"?
No,
I set the fireworks off.
I did my part.
You guys didn't say fireworks off.
I did my part.
At that point,
that's so bad.
Do either of you guys know how stadium pyrotechnics work? Do they have to use the fireworks at some point? Or
they paid for them.
Yeah.
So the thing is, and I don't believe they're going to be good the next year.
Do fireworks expire?
I think they do. That there's a shelf life on them. Plus, when they're exposed to the elements too, sometimes they may get damp, like a little damp or wet.
You gotta cut your losses.
Got to use them.
No, you gotta cut your losses. You just don't use them. You can't blow off fireworks.
Well, if you're UMass, though.
Points.
Right, yeah, you paid money for good money for these fireworks.
You don't want to throw them out.
Yeah.
Your
kicker makes a field goal. Let's go. Chris Paul hits a big 3 to cut the lead down to 4.
There it is. Didn't the Sixers have confetti?
Well, that was just a false jump. It wasn't a game-winning shot.
Wait a minute. the confetti. There was confetti for like winning games of a series, wasn't there? Didn't they? Didn't they? Wait a minute. They dropped stuff during playoff series.
Oh no, you're right. The Celtics won.
They dropped stuff for winning a game in a playoff series.
It was Marco Bellinelli,
which is so stupid.
Bellinelli.
You just call him Bellinelli?
Marco Bellinelli.
We'll move on. Before you get yourself in trouble with the fine Italian community of the greater Philadelphia area to our replay.
I just wonder where the overall confidence level is for people when it comes to this team.
You know what's funny? So you know where I'm at. Like, I'm pretty confident in this team overall. I think it's so tough for us to properly evaluate this team because of how good last year's team was. And I don't know that we've talked about that enough. The unfair bar set by the 2024-25 Philadelphia Eagles has almost doomed this team to be underachievers regardless. Not that they don't have problems. I'm not saying we're like making stuff up here. But I think anytime you come off a Super Bowl year with those type of games down the stretch in the postseason, it is going to be near impossible to follow it up to the point where the fan base is largely
I'm not asking for 40 points a week.
Well,
like, I'm not asking for what I saw in the NFC Championship game or the Super Bowl.
I'm not just saying you guys. We had a texter say they better score 35 plus every single
and that's a
week.
lot. And that's a lot.
Which is crazy because the best offenses in the NFL don't usually ever do that.
Yeah.
I think the bar might just be
I hear what you're saying.
That's not a bad thought, Connor.
I hear what you're saying, but like ultimately we're once again talking about what could potentially keep them from getting back to a Super Bowl, and it's the same conversation as last year. Now,
a much more rugged NFC this year.
Now, a couple of things. Renee on our YouTube chat wants me to stop with the false narrative about the targets because CeeDee Lamb played only 2 less games.
That's a lot of games.
All I have to do is average. CeeDee Lamb is averaging 9 targets per game. A.J. Brown is averaging 6.
Yes.
Some of the top wide receivers in the NFL, Jamar Chase is averaging 12. Trey McBride, tight end for the Cardinals, who is their best receiver, is averaging 10. Drake London, 10. Jackson Smith and
So it's not a false narrative.
9.5. Justin Jefferson, 9. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 9. Lad McConkey with the Chargers, 8. Puka, 10.
I think 9 should be around
Nico
the average
Collins,
for
9.
that. For a guy of his caliber, it should be around 9.
He's averaging 6. Now, I want to credit Brendan Deeg, who does Eagles content.
Brendan does good work.
A.J. Brown, according to True Media, has run 14 crossing routes this season.
14 in 9 games?
There have been 137 pass catchers in the NFL that have run more crossing routes than him. Now, some guys just do that, right? Like that's...
Yes.
You know.
Well, why wouldn't you want it with A.J. Brown?
To put it into perspective, as Brendan does, Nakua and Devontae Adams, both on the same team, by the way.
Yes.
Lead the league in those routes. Both with 59.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
It's more than 14. I know, Connor, you struggle with math. That is more than 14.
Confirmed.
How did you do mortgages?
So sometimes it is play design.
Computer.
Sometimes it is play design. All right, coming up next.
I think you were the mortgage crisis.
We get some more information on the Detroit Lions. Dave Burkett, who does a great job covering the Lions, has for a long time. He can tell us about the state of the Lions, some of the health issues that they have. And has this game been circled on their calendar? Because a lot of players thought if they were healthy, it would have been Eagles-Lions in the NFC Championship game last year. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
I love live betting on the BetParks app. I love the BetParks Sportsbook and Casino app. Look, I like the Parks Casino in Ben Salem. But I also like to be able to have the BetParks app right there in the palm of my hand because there's always another way to win. So they got your favorite classic casino games right there on your phone, like blackjack and craps and roulette, and hundreds of online slots. Now, I'm more into playing the cards online if I'm going to play anything. But you can bet all the slot games, and most of all, you can bet all your favorite sports. We have a hockey night tonight against a really bad Blues team. I'm going to put together something for the Flyers that's going to include a money line bet on them to win. And then maybe, does Mishkov go 4 for 4? Who knows? New users get up to $1,000 in casino bonus back if you're down in your first 24 hours. Check out BetParks.com and get the details. So whether your team scores or not, there's always another way to win if you get the BetParks online casino and sportsbook app. Got to be 21, Pennsylvania, Jersey, or Michigan. Should you have a gambling problem, I implore you to please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
The return of Jerkins. I'm Connor Thomas, and we may see it this week when the Eagles take on the Lions on Sunday Night Football. Yesterday's injury report had Cam Jerkins as the only limited player as he works his way back from a knee injury. Still not sure if he's going to be in for Sunday, but some good signs so far this week, and everybody else seems to be healthy, which is good news. Eagles coordinators met with media yesterday, and Vic Fangio talked about the talent on the Detroit offense.
They got a lot of talent on that side of the ball. They got the best line in the league. Quarterback, according to Dan's, playing the best that he's ever played. Two good running backs. The receivers are all fast. It's a good unit to be calling plays for.
It's certainly a heavyweight matchup for Sunday night. The Sixers and Flyers both have action tonight. Sixers play the Pistons in Detroit at 7:30. You can hear that game live here on the Fanatic. Flyers in St. Louis facing the Blues at 8 p.m. That game on WMMR. Major League Baseball handed out their MVP awards last night. Shohei Ohtani won National League MVP. Kyle Schwarber finished second. Trey Turner finished fifth. And Aaron Judge beat out Cal Raleigh for the American League honors. Dave Burkett, who covers the Lions, is joining us coming up next for the Detroit perspective on the game. This update is brought to you by Mattress Firm. Score huge deals and better sleep at Mattress Firm's Black Friday sale. Their sleep experts will find the perfect bed for your unique needs. Mattress Firm, they make sleep easy. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
The goal.
It is 8:26 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. On this Football Friday, the Eagles 1 seed in the NFC, 7-2 record, one of the most confusing 1 seeds that I can remember, because we talk about the lack of the passing offense, the drama that surrounds the team. It hasn't looked like a 1 seed or felt like a 1 seed, but they are one. And as everybody points out, maybe they're not as fearful of the rest of the teams in the NFC. And the Eagles do have the pedigree of being defending Super Bowl champions. And so one of our questions for you today at 610-632-0975 is an open-ended conversation about where your confidence level is with the Eagles, because we all agree it hasn't felt like a 1 seed at all. But that doesn't mean you're lacking confidence in them.
No, I'm not at all. I'm not lacking.
You are super chesty.
No, I'm not chesty like it, because I do believe this is going to be a game. I told you, I don't think it's going to be pretty all through it. I don't think it's going to be one of those ones where we say that, hang it in the Louvre, which could get stolen. But I think we're going to say.
That's a wild story. Has that gone away?
No, it's still around. They got the guys, though. So.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they got them. But it's to me, I don't think we're going to be like, wow, they've solved all their problems. But to me, you go and beat the Lions, guaranteed, Monday morning, first thing, there it is. You're the 1 seed.
The reason why I wanted to have this confidence conversation was those words that you said yesterday.
It's over.
When I heard you say, I jotted it down right away. When John Kincade said yesterday on the air that if, and you're more so a when, because I
believe it's when they beat them.
When the Eagles beat the Lions Sunday night, that the path to the one, it's a guarantee.
It's a guarantee.
So that means the path is completely clear of debris.
They will hold the tiebreaker over 4 teams that trail them in the playoff picture in the conference. There's only 6 other playoff teams. They'll already have 4 tiebreakers, and they can get the 5th on Black Friday 2 weeks from today. It's unbelievable. And I don't believe that the Seahawks are going to, because of the ruggedness of their own division, I believe they got a few losses coming their way.
Sure.
And they've already lost 2 conference games.
Right.
We want, by the way, we are very
next segment.
We
next
very
segment.
much want some things to happen.
We're going to give you the rooting
Yes.
tree.
Yeah, now the JK guarantee, the tail of the tape for the year, we'll call it 1.5 in the win column and half in the loss column. So the division call by you was early and a great call, because the Eagles are absolutely winning the NFC East. You did say earlier that when the Eagles beat Tampa Bay and Tampa, the Bucs would never be ahead of them. And they did pass them in the standings after that, but they are now down, and I don't think they'll catch them.
No, they'll never be ahead of them. They will not be ahead of them for the season. But they were the most dangerous team. The Buccaneers, to me, were the most dangerous team all along.
Yeah.
But they'll never be ahead of them. They're not going to finish ahead of them.
Gotcha.
The Buccaneers. Okay. They're already, and they got that second conference loss. We just got to keep that conference losses at 1. If the Eagles are sitting there at 1 and they've gone through the Lions, the Rams, the Packers, it's fine.
Can I ask you a little projection question here, Johnny, then?
Yeah.
So how many losses do you think, let's say the Eagles go out Sunday night and they beat the Lions in whatever way it takes.
They lose 2 more.
They lose 2 more the rest of the way.
They lose 2 more.
Okay.
And is one of them the Week 18?
Yeah,
they
one
don't
of them
play
could be the
people?
Week 18 game.
And then the other one's what, like Chargers Monday Night
I could see
Football?
a Chargers loss. What's weird is I could see a Cowboys game going sideways. I really could. A game at Dallas, the way they score points.
Okay.
It could be a wild game, but there's no concern with me about them winning the division and winning the conference.
So maybe
Imagine
Dallas
number 5.
and maybe Week 18, but you'd call the other ones W's.
Yes.
And then you'd say L's for the other 2.
Yeah, I'd just say I don't do W's and L's. That's what I would
Sound
do.
like you just did.
That's what I do.
All right. Are we
Before
gonna,
a season
Are
starts.
we going to speak with Mr. Burkett later on in the program?
We are efforting.
Okay.
Okay.
Hit us with a couple of text
Do we
messages.
need a quarter to make the call?
Seriously.
Got it.
Yeah, collect.
Yes.
Bob had a baby. It's a boy. You
There we
seen that
go.
commercial? Okay. We've got to check in here on where the Eagles are at right now. And this texter says, with the Eagles right now, they're not so bothered, it seems, by the AJ drama, because if so, it seems like he would have some type of detrimental to the team suspension or something worked down from the top. And the Lurie conversation that happened gives me more confidence in the current conversation.
Well, all right, so let's talk about this, right? Because I get it. Everybody wants it to just be positive, and
Yes.
and nobody wants to have like harsh conversations about the AJ Brown saga. That could very well lead to a trade in the offseason. Like it could.
I think it's now seeming like it. That's
anyone
what
gonna be
people
surprised?
That's what people are saying, is that it's going to happen.
So let's talk about this when it comes to AJ Brown. Has it been detrimental to the point of losses? No, it has not. So the texter is completely accurate in that point. Has it led to press conferences where Nick Sirianni is becoming combative with the media over it because he's tired of hearing about it? Yes, it has.
And Devontae doesn't want to talk about it, and Jalen doesn't want to talk about it.
Now, is that enough to lead to losses? So far, it has not. And it hasn't. And I still believe that in game, A.J. Brown, gives it his all majority of the times, right? We see it. It is... When you say the Jeffrey Lurie conversation is a positive, I don't look at that as a positive. I look at it as a necessity, like it had to happen. It got to the point where Jeffrey Lurie had to orchestrate a conversation.
And the fact that there's nothing positive about Jeffrey Lurie having to get involved in anything that goes on with players' activity.
No.
None. There's no spin of this is a positive thing. No, it's called... Dad finally came into the room and said, would you stop this garbage?
The positive is credit to Jeffrey Lurie for being a caring owner.
Yes.
Like, that's a positive, but it's not a positive that this had to happen. So clearly, even though it's not led to losses, to everybody's point, it has not led to losses. It has led to the point where Jeffrey Lurie had to come downstairs and be like, all right,
just have a little conversation.
All right, let's.
Could we just act like adults? Could we come to work and conduct ourselves like adults? It shouldn't be that hard. This is how grown-ups go to work.
I think that
they don't go to their Instagram and put up cryptic messages.
I think the Twitch was the crossing of the line.
It was totally crossing the line.
Like the tweets in the Instagram account, the Instagram post, he could have always, if somebody said, "Hey, what was this all about?" He could have said, it had nothing to do with anybody. Remember that the first time he said that, right?
I wasn't addressing anybody.
Like, I remember, like, Joel Embiid has literally talked about being a troll online, right? Fletcher Cox used to be a troll. Fletcher Cox used to be a troll on social media. I remember when they were trying to work out his contract. There was one day he randomly tweeted out the money bag emoji, and everyone was like, "Oh, it got done." And then he put out a tweet later on saying, "Nah, I just did that," because like he was trolling people, right?
Yes.
So A.J. Brown cryptic messages could just say, "You don't know who I'm talking about," but when you're on Twitch, we all know what you're talking about. And that, I think, was probably the moment that led to Jeffrey Lurie having to talk.
Just saying, come on now. Could we just stop with this?
All right, what else we got on the text line?
All right, so this texter checks in, and it's more on the A.J. conversation. We brought up the names of star wide receivers with their targets and getting them the ball. This texter says you can insert any of those names, but all those teams are below 500. Have you ever thought that maybe they're force-feeding their number ones, and it's hurting their overall offensive productivity?
Who are they force-feeding?
I guess they're talking about like Jamar and CD and.
Are those? Have I ever heard anybody saying that they're hurting their teams? I've never heard that.
Like,
I mean, you mean star wide receivers getting the ball?
Yeah,
it's simplistic. I mean, it really is. It's absolutely simplistic unless you don't have the capability of drawing up an offense.
By the way,
takes benefit of it.
That game where Jamar Chase finished with 23 targets, the Bengals won that game, and it's one of few wins they have this year.
And who was it?
Joe Flacco. But
yeah.
That game where they said, all right, we need a win. Let's give it to our best player. Isn't that what you want?
Yeah, if this was Devontae Smith is already over 1,000 yards for the season because he's just going off, and and Dallas Goedert's having a great year, and he is, and you're spreading the ball around to other players, and AJ's not getting his, that's one thing.
Yeah, that's one thing.
The offense is not moving in general.
No, they have the most 3-and-outs in the NFL.
And it's the worst in 11 years.
So maybe we should try force-feeding the star player, and maybe those 3-and-outs don't happen.
The approach isn't working. It's not working.
Like, again, the opening drive, the scripted opening drive, looked good up until the Hurts fumble, which was uncharacteristic of Jalen Hurts, right?
And by the way, we don't know what's scripted because remember earlier in the year they talked about the fact that they don't script. So we don't know.
AJ got the ball twice on that opening drive. That was clearly the plan going into the game. And then they just went away from it. And you can't just blame disguised defenses that we didn't expect, unscouted looks. I heard Kevin Patullo say that yesterday. I wanted to throw up. Dude, we're in November. All right, coming up next, John Kincade is guaranteeing a 1 seed if the Eagles win on Sunday. There's a little less debris on the path to the 1 seed after last week. Who should we root for on Sunday, not just Eagles related? It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Whether you're at the job. 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 Whether
What? What?
What is that from YouTube? Someone asked that?
Mopar goes, the only thing we haven't talked about with A.J. Brown is whether or not he's complaining about how much water he's getting from the water.
Unbelievable.
I got a guy on the inside that's an equipment dude. I'll ask him.
You can ask?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, I'll shoot him a
Mopar
text.
will help you out here. D-Lo on Twitter asks about the players that are leading the league in targets. How many of those teams have complementary weapons the way that A.J. Brown does? Which I understand that thought process, right? Like, you got to feed Devontae Smith. You got to feed Dallas Goedert. You obviously have to hand the ball off to Saquon Barkley. So I got the top 15 target leaders this year.
This is not going to go well for that question asker.
Number 15, Emeka Egbuka. They have 85 wide receivers on that team. Obviously, there have been injuries as well.
There have been.
Tet McMillan, the rookie wide receiver for the Carolina Panthers, is 14. 13 and 12, Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua. They both play for the Los Angeles Rams.
They also have 17 tight ends on the field at all times.
Yeah.
This isn't going well.
Wan'Dale Robinson is 11th. He plays for the New York Giants. They're losing half the time, so they have to throw the football. 10 and 9, both for the Chargers, Keenan Allen and Ladd McConkey. Number 8, you'll see him on Sunday, Amon-Ra St. Brown. He also has Jameson Williams. He has Sam Laporta, and they run the ball a lot with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. This is not average targets. This is total targets on the season. Number 7 is Justin Jefferson. They have Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, and running backs. Number 5 is Drake London. He's pretty much the guy in Atlanta. Also, number 5, Jackson Smith and Jigba. To D'Lo's point, 2 guys that are pretty much the guy on their team. Number 4 is Trey McBride. He's a tight end.
Okay.
And Christian McCaffrey, because that's all the freaking 49ers do, is just dump it off to him. He's 3. Chris Olave 2. Jamar Chase is 1. By the way, T. Higgins is on that team as well and gets paid a lot of money as well.
Man.
So a lot of these teams have complementary players. And some of these teams, 2 of them, have 2 within the top 15. And they're balanced.
That's wild.
Now, when it comes to averages, Devontae and AJ are about averaging the same targets per game.
Okay.
And I'm fine with that. But
I'm
when
fine
your
with that too. Why not?
When your offense is sputtering the way that it does, and again, number 1 in 3-and-outs, the worst 3-and-out rate since 2014, as John told me this morning, which blew my mind. Sometimes, how in basketball, it's a 10-0 run. You go, all right, let's just get it to our best player. Force it to the best player. Rhythm. Start something going. You can do that in football, too. You can. I know it's easier said than done, but when we talk about the route tree that A.J. Brown is running, and it's nowhere near some of the other top wide receivers in the NFL,
It's
wonder.
a rudimentary route tree.
Yeah, right. We're not asking him to do double reverses.
It is. I mean, look, again, Dan Orlovsky has literally taken it apart. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's
not good.
And he's been doing that since about week 1.
Yes, he's been calling for it for a while.
All right, let's try to get some more debris off the path to the 1 seed. Now, you're guaranteeing the 1 seed if the Eagles were to beat the Detroit Lions on Sunday, but we won't know about that till maybe around 11:30 at night.
It's going to be late.
So we have a slate of games, and man, they're going to be great. A lot of games
really
to
good
pay
ones.
attention to this weekend. We'll just go in order of the NFC playoff picture. As it stands right now, Eagles are number 1. The Seattle Seahawks are the 2 seed, also with a 7-2 record. The tiebreaker, the Eagles only have 1 conference loss. The Seahawks have 2.
So gives us the 1 seed right now.
They host the Los Angeles Rams.
This is an easy one.
You got to root for the Rams.
Got to root for the Rams.
Yeah.
You must have the Seahawks because you already hold the tiebreaker with the Rams,
head-to-head.
who already have 1 more conference loss than you. So you need Seattle, who you don't have the tiebreaker with, because 1 loss by the Eagles would put you right with Seattle. You need to get Seattle another conference loss.
Also, going to L.A. feels a lot more manageable than going to Seattle.
Sure. Yeah.
Yes.
That's
no,
true,
going
too,
to L.A., people
that happens.
will come and
Yeah.
it'll be taken. You're not going to take – the Eagles fans aren't taking over Seattle. That's one place you're not going to be able to take over.
Lions are the 3 seed as of right now. Obviously, the Eagles are playing them. The Bucks are the 4 seed. They're playing the Bills, so that's a
the Bucks?
no-brainer.
I thought the Lions were the 4 seed.
According
is that changed?
to NFL.com,
Three?
the
They're
Lions
the
are
3?
the 3 seed.
Lions are the 3? Okay.
Bucks 4 seed. They're playing the Bills, so that's a no-brainer. We already talked about the Rams. The Bears, not that anybody thinks they're going to really push for the 1 seed, but they're 1 win behind you. They're 6-3.
Which is incredible.
they will be hosting the Minnesota Vikings. So go Vikings. Go 9. We're rooting for 9 this weekend.
Wow.
You don't want to do that. I watched that in person. Not fun.
9.
Alter ego.
9.
The Packers play the Giants. No brainer. You want the Giants to win. And then the Cardinals are playing the San Francisco 49ers. And so you want the Cardinals to beat the San Francisco 49ers. And then after that, the Panthers are 5-5. I don't think any other team makes the playoffs. I think the Niners, like, you know how when you do the on the bubble and then it's the I think come the last 2 weeks of the season, it will be an 8-team race to get into the NFC playoffs. I don't think the Panthers are going to keep up. I don't think the Vikings are all of a sudden going to turn it up a notch with 9. The Cowboys aren't turning things around. And Cowboys are 3-5-1. AFC, it's going to be a little bit different because you'll have the Chiefs still in it, the Texans still in it, the Ravens still in it. It might be more teams in the playoff picture in the AFC. It just shows how dominant the NFC's been this year.
I think it's going to be so much fun this weekend.
Oh, dude,
and it's going to tell us it's going to tell us so much, but I've done the math, so it's just beat the Lions. It's over. It is over. It'll be done. Number 1 seed. Remember last year when I told you from like that you had to work on NFC Championship game, and I told you that from the beginning.
You did.
I'm telling you right now, it's over. It's done. Just win on Sunday, though. You got to win on Sunday. I really believe it's happening, but I don't believe Sunday is going to be comfortable at all. Like, I don't think we're going to be like, man, this is just a showcase. But I'm very confident that the Eagles are the better team than the Lions.
All right.
On that field that night.
At home.
Tell me the games at Ford Field, and I may feel different. That's why I don't want it to be on the playoffs.
All right.
You guys ready for a bit of a vibes conversation real quick?
Yeah, sure.
I'm always down for a vibes combo.
What do we think the Link's going to feel like Sunday night? Because
wild.
Well, it is a big-time game, right? And it should be wild. But there's some clear uncomfortability about this team right now. With where the offense is and the A.J. Brown stuff.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a zoo. I think it's going to be, and also, too, liquored up.
Yeah, ate that late. By the way, if A.J. Brown catches a pass on the opening drive, the place will go nuts.
And it'll be the Bronx cheers.
By the way, force it. Force the ball to A.J. Brown on the opening drive and let the crowd go nuts. It's not Bronx cheers. It's Bronx cheers toward the coaching staff.
No, that's what I mean. No, it is. It's Bronx cheers towards the coaching staff. It's like, hey, Kevin Patullo gets Bronx cheers every home game. Every single home game. They hate the play calling.
Yeah.
They hate it.
By the way, there's I'll try to read it during the commercial break. There's a deep dive. There's an article from Eric Woodyard, I guess covers the Detroit Lions for ESPN.com.
He does some pretty good work
on the change from John Morton to Dan Campbell as the play caller and sort of the reasoning that went into it. And I saw it retweeted by our buddy Adam Schefter, who kind of pushed back on the notion on Wednesday.
Yes, he did.
So
look,
which is it?
It's there's a lot. Within the Eagles press corps. There's just it seems like a bend over backwards defense of Kevin Patullo like I've never seen. It's as if we're just going to. Well, there's other things that are involved. Yeah, there are. But the job performance with all the resources that he's got, it's poor. It's poor, and not getting the ball to. I'd kill to have Dan Orlovsky be the offense coordinator of the Eagles.
I wouldn't.
That'd be fantastic. Be fantastic. He can talk this offense and design play better than.
Well, he is. He can prep for a show.
No, I mean he's look. You're out of your mind. I think this is so bad.
What?
This is so bad.
That sounds like the people who want Deuce Staley to be the next head coach of the Eagles.
What coaching resume does Dan Orlovsky have?
Well, how about this? I think if Dan Orlovsky was designing plays, I'd have a lot more confidence. A lot more confidence.
I don't know.
It only took 17 years for somebody to say, hey, that Patullo guy, why doesn't he get to call plays?
Yeah, but it's
and again,
how come nobody's called Dan Orlovsky to be in the coaching?
Because you can't afford him. He makes more than a lot of offensive play callers. So that could be part of the reason. That could be part of the reason. You got to pay him.
I'm not going to meet you on this one. All right, coming up next, is there an agenda coming from reporters? Not here, but nationally. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, if you're getting ready to move, or maybe you are going to finally clean out that garage, Joe, or maybe you're going to get that attic all fixed up or remodel a bedroom, If it sounds like you've got a cleanup project, the Bagster is where you need to go. The Bagster is the 3 cubic yard dumpster in a bag. You can get it at Home Depot, Lowe's, and local home improvement stores, and it's just $29.99. That's amazing. And the Bagster's so easy to use, so whatever your cleanup plans are, whether you're cleaning out the garage, whether it's that, project that you've been putting off, I'm telling you, the Bagster can take it on. You buy it, you fill it, you schedule the collection, and it's gone. And when I tell you it's easy to put the Bagster together, I'm not very handy, let's put it that way. I put one together simply. It's easy. Go to thebagster.com, find the store nearest you, $29.99, pick up a Bagster, and then you have no excuse to not take on that project. I promise you, the Bagster can take all the debris, you schedule it after it's filled to get collected, and it'll be gone. There's no time limits. It's completely on demand. It's a great product. It's the Bagster. Check it out. It's the dumpster in a bag.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Another huge matchup. I'm Connor Thomas, and that's what the Eagles have this Sunday night as they get ready for the Detroit Lions to come to town, and they're looking pretty healthy, the Eagles are. Yesterday's injury report had Cam Jurgens as the only player listed as limited. Everybody else was a full participant in practice. We'll keep an eye on Jurgens as we get closer to Sunday, but that's some good news. What's not great news so far this year is the Philadelphia Eagles offense, which has been inconsistent, and Kevin Patullo talked yesterday about staying out of negative plays to increase the efficiency.
It's the efficiency on first down or second down. I think we're very high right now in third and longs, and that's the issue. And so we really just got to continue to find ways as coaches to just stay out of those negative plays and stay out of things that keep us off track.
We'll see if the Eagles can fix that on Sunday night. The Sixers and Flyers are both back in action tonight. Sixers play the Pistons in Detroit at 7:30. You can hear that game live here on the Fanatic. Flyers are in St. Louis facing the Blues at 8 p.m. That game live on WMMR. MLB handed out their MVP awards last night. Shohei Ohtani won unanimous NL MVP. Kyle Schwarber was second place. Trey Turner in fifth. The Yankees' Aaron Judge won the American League MVP award over Seattle's Cal Raleigh. This update is brought to you by Bradford White Water Heaters. When you need a new water heater, choose one that is built to be the best. Choose Bradford White. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
busy 9 o'clock hour on this football Friday. No other way I'd want to do it. We got our re-rack coming up in a few minutes. What we're going to do is know the re-rack.
All right. Know the re-rack.
We have a pair of Sixers tickets to give away for the game against the Clippers on Monday, November 17th. So what we do every single day at 9 o'clock, you hear the re-rack. It's the intro to the show from earlier this morning. Listen to it, and something from it will be the Know the Show question. Know the re-rack for your chance to win the pair of tickets for the Sixers-Clippers game Monday, November 17th at the Xfinity Mobile Arena. Sixers single-game tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com/76ers. Then after the re-rack, as always, on this Friday, Kevin Agandi will be joining us. So we'll speak to Kevin around 9:10. Dave Burkett, who covers the Lions, he was supposed to join us at 8:25, but things happen. He's going to be joining us now coming up at 9:25.
I was going to steal his media gift if he didn't show up.
And then we have our pick segment, which we'll do in the final segment of the day. So a busy...
Is Andrew going to get above 500 this week?
I'm what, 1 under?
2 under.
Yeah, no shot.
You got to go
2
3 and
under?
1. Yeah, you're 19 and 21. You're 19 and 21.
I don't know if the record books are true.
The record book is right. Stop trying to spin.
What, you
you're
think
lucky
you're
you're
lower?
even there.
Yeah.
You're 19 and 21.
Yeah, I need another good week.
You're 3 behind Connor.
Now, real quick, I mentioned going to the break. Is there an agenda from some people that cover the National Football League?
Tell me what it's about. There's definitely agendas at play, especially with press.
Well,
There's agenda at play.
last week when the Eagles played the Packers on Monday night, there were a couple of reporters, and I'll name them, Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissaro, who work for the NFL Network.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's a key point to this discussion.
Posted the video of the Eagles definitely jumping early on the tush push. We all saw it. I don't know how the officials missed it.
Right.
But remember what we've been saying the last couple of months on this show. For the league to get it banned, they're going to point to officiating this time instead of player health and safety.
Okay.
Because last year, that was the big thing. Oh, player health and safety, player health and safety. And then Jason Kelsey says, look, I'm fine. Here's all the reasoning why we're not getting hurt. So then the officiating thing is the new agenda. Last night, Ian, by the way, they did not make any mention of Jordan Love and the false start on their regular quarterback sneak. Last night, Travion Henderson scored a touchdown yesterday. Now, he's a running back. And as he was running into the end zone, he started getting pushed by some of his offensive linemen. 3-yard line, they start pushing him toward the end zone because there was a pileup. We've seen that in football a million times, right?
That is correct.
And Ian Rappaport puts out a tweet. Not a tush push, just a standard push. So is that one okay?
Oh, believe me. Now, do you guys even truly remember when that wasn't legal?
I don't remember.
See, I do remember when that was not legal to do.
I got that somewhere in the fuzzy part of my brain.
Because that has to be really young for both of you.
But Mike Garafolo quote tweeted it, and I'm glad that he did because it seems like there's people that are pro regular push but not tush push.
Well, no, they all go away.
And that's what he said.
It has to, right?
It will be a ban on standard pushing.
If it would ever happen.
It would not just be the tush push. It would be any pushing of a player moving forward. So if those of you who say, oh, well, I want to get rid of the tush push, but I want regular pushing. No, it's going to all go away. And then what? 15-yard penalty, 5-yard penalty? Like, what are we going to do? Every time somebody gets pushed?
That would be a mess to officiate.
Yeah. Probably more so than these potential false starts. Because now was the guy actually pushing the person, or were they there in case somebody fumbled the football? It's like the hip drop tackle. Remember all that?
Yep.
Have you seen one flag yet?
Yeah.
In 2
what's
years?
his name? Got suspended for it.
No, he got suspended for it, but he was not flagged for it in the game.
Oh, it was not flagged in the game, correct.
Players are getting fined for it, but they're not getting flagged for it because they can't officiate it. All right, you're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN, HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Music Station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. Victory. Good morning, John Kincade.
And a good morning to you. Looking forward to a big one today as we get ready for what should be an amazing football weekend. Not just the Birds.
Oh, no.
A lot of great ramifications.
This slate's going to be a great one, and I love...
Last night was terrible, and I turned it off.
Yeah, last night sucked. But even though, I hate being tired sometimes after these late-night games, I love the fact that the Eagles are by themselves Sunday night because the rest of the weekend is also tremendous. the 1 o'clock games, the 4 o'clock games, and then, of course, Eagles-Lions. If you're not an Eagles or Lions fan, that's still a major game. That's still a game that's filled with a lot of excitement, a lot of entertainment coming up. But, of course, it means something for us. And I have not hid my worry for today. I love the confidence that you have had all week long.
Yeah.
I love the confidence that some people on social media have. There was a video posted by Haley about me talking about how the Eagles can't just have a passive offense Sunday against the Lions. And somebody goes, the Eagles aren't going to let the Lions score more than 20 points. I go, all right, if you think the Eagles are going to keep that Lions team to 20 points, then, man, this defense is really starting to look like the Super Bowl defense that we saw last year.
Remember, I said 26, and you guys both, Connor and you both went over. Yes. And I say I absolutely do not think the Lions are scoring more than 26.
If the Eagles can slow down this Lions offense, then we're really talking about the defense being completely back, right?
Yes.
Like where they're going to limit points, they're going to stop them, they're going to force turnovers, they're going to force 3-and-outs, like where the Eagles offense has them all the time. The Eagles defense, with the addition of Jalen Phillips, getting Nakobe Dean back healthy, getting Nolan Smith back healthy, if they're able to have that kind of game against Detroit, all right, let's go. Like, we got a fierce defense. They just need to figure out their crap offensively. So I have like a kind of an open-ended question for the people today, Johnny.
Philosophical?
I just wonder where the overall confidence level is for people when it comes to this team. We've had a lot of sort of discussions about how, man, they're 7-2, but, right, like A.J. Brown, there's drama. He's also not contributing much. Jalen Hurts has not had that great of a season, right? Would you say that he's had a great season? Because I wouldn't.
I don't think he's had a bad season, but
No,
I
not
think
a bad
he's been he's been efficient.
He's been efficient, which is the key word for the Eagles this year. The defense up until last week had not looked like the defense of last year. Understandably so. You have a lot of new moving parts. So I just wonder where the overall confidence level is for the Eagles, because I think about something that you said yesterday, John. I do listen to what you say, believe it or not.
I
Does not
appreciate
go in
you doing
one
that.
ear and out the other. You said yesterday something that is extra confident. Not only do you think the Eagles win this game against the Lions, which you've been saying since before the Packers.
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to be easy, and I don't think it's going to be pretty.
Right, but you think they win.
Yeah, I think they're going to win.
You also said that if they win Sunday, you are guaranteeing that they get the 1 seed in
Capital
the NFC.
G. Monday morning, Haley will clip it. It's a guarantee. They're the number 1 seed.
Extremely confident with this Eagles
Yeah,
team.
I'm incredibly confident because I don't think they have a tougher opponent left on their schedule. I don't think they have any. They've already had a ton of tough challenges.
Sure.
And by the way, every one of the tough challenges they've won.
Yeah.
So
if
they win against the Lions,
like 15-2, 14-3,
it's over. No. They still may. It's just the number 1 seed. They'll get the number 1 seed because I still see losses on the schedule.
Sure.
But they're going to be the number 1 seed. They're going to be. What I would guess is if they win, if they go to 8-2, then you're probably looking at 13-4. And they'll be the number 1 seed because none of the other guys are getting to 13.
Now, I love that. Now,
I have no doubt. No doubt in my mind. If they beat Detroit, they're the number 1 seed, period. They will hold 4 head-to-head tiebreakers over playoff
which
teams.
is incredible.
And then they'll have a chance to beat the Bears, who are currently in playoff position, on Black Friday. And they could hold the tiebreaker over 5 playoff contenders. So I would have no concerns about them being the 1 seed. And if they're the 1 seed and have to win 2 home games in South Philly, there's a really good chance we could be talking about a team that could repeat.
Now, you know what's amazing? And maybe this goes to my confidence level. Because, look, I still feel very good about this Eagles team having a nice winter, right?
Yes.
We'll see. We'll get the Super Bowl.
A nice winter. You're not,
We'll get the Super Bowl talk eventually, right? But it's amazing how it doesn't really feel like that. Like have the Eagles screamed other than the wins, which I know that's the number 1 thing. Jalen Hurts will tell you that. That's all that matters. Other than the wins, has it felt like number 1 seed team? Because it hasn't.
Well, I leave like the little notes to myself that I go back and I look at notes and look at things that I said. And the number 1 thing that I keep trying to remind myself of is last year, arguably, the Eagles had one of their worst seasons, not record-wise, but one of their worst performance seasons at home in a Super Bowl winning year. They had to go down to the last play to hold off the Jacksonville Jaguars. They had to get a dramatic fourth quarter comeback to beat the stinking Browns. They were terrible in so many home games last year. Carolina, they should have lost.
Yeah, I know. If Xavier Leggett doesn't drop a ball.
These are like 4 of the top 9 teams in last year's draft. The Eagles barely beat at home.
Yeah.
And they were the Super Bowl champs. And I said to myself in notes, remind yourself of this when you're looking at the Eagles for the style points, because we got into those discussions a lot with Connor. The idea of the style points is that the Eagles are just a team that's not going to be a style point team.
Yeah. I mean, they are the most confusing 7-2 1 seed. If season ended today, 1 seed in the NFC. It's one of the most confusing things that I've watched, but sometimes you just can't ignore the results.
Well,
and the results are that they find ways to win every single
The
week.
Seahawks and the Rams are 7-2. The Seahawks and the Rams have better 9-game, here's how we look teams.
Right.
But I don't necessarily think that they are better than the Eagles. And I think if the Eagles play them in South Philly in January, they'll beat them. So it's one of those things where I don't think, like right now, what I know of the Eagles, I don't think they'd go to Seattle and win. And I don't think they'd beat the Rams on the road.
But you think if they host them?
If they host them in South Philly in January, yeah. I think the Eagles are going to I think the Eagles would have a path to the Super Bowl.
All right, Connor, it's kind of an open-ended question. What is your confidence level with the Eagles? Like, I know they're a good football team, but they don't feel like a 1 seed. They don't. I've not watched a game this year where I go, except for the Giants beatdown.
Yeah.
There has not been a game where I've pointed and said, that is the 1 seed. That is the team that won the Super Bowl last year. That's the team that I know week in and week out can get a win. I've only seen it one time.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident in them because I don't know who else around the NFC does look like that team. I guess it would probably be Detroit for me, and maybe that's because they're one of the few contenders the Eagles haven't played yet.
Well, it's amazing. L.A. has shown it, but you beat L.A.
Right, and that was a situation where you also spotted them like however many points in that game. I don't know. I mean, the Eagles just win, and at the end of the day, until somebody comes around and shows me they can beat this team convincingly, which nobody has, besides the Giants, who you then beat after that, and I think that was more of a fluky Thursday night game, then I'm going to have confidence that they're the best team. And if you get Jalen Hurts and company into a postseason, which they're going to be in, I'm going to take them over every single team in the NFC because their postseason pedigree beats the brakes off of any other team currently in the NFC. So I feel pretty confident.
I like how you're speaking there, Connor.
Because
I honestly, I feel I can't tell you that I feel really good about this game. Like, I feel really good about it.
I love that because
I think
don't.
the Eagles. Because here's one thing I know:
I don't.
In their history, the Eagles have been fantastic about this team, this group, this recent group. When they give that week where we have a crappy week like this,
Yeah.
a crappy week of discussion, a crappy week of like analysis of the team where people are how they're feeling. Got to tell you that I don't.
Around,
I don't.
right.
They turn it around the next week and make a statement where they come out and go, "Everybody happy?" I got to have more confidence.
I just wonder how long you could teeter with that.
Yeah,
I think that's walking on a thin sheet of ice.
yeah.
By the way, shout out to
happens.
Big Dom for getting Jeffrey Lurie and A.J. Brown together.
But after the numbers I told you, well, we know about that. Well, I think Jeffrey Lurie said, "Bring him here."
No.
I don't think it was Big Dom brokering a meeting.
I saw social media. Oh, shout out to Big Dom.
Bull crap.
He's the freaking owner of the football team.
The owner of
The
the
meeting
football
of the five families.
The owner of the football team said, "Hey, Big Dom, bring A.J. Brown to me because this crap has to stop."
All right, coming up next, there's something that should make you feel better when we've heard a consistent message from those who cover the team and are in the locker room every single day. We'll talk about that next. We want to hear from you. 610-632-0975. Open-ended question. Where's your confidence level when it comes to the Eagles? We'll discuss it all show today on this Football Friday. Eagles-Lions. Boy, big game Sunday night here on 96.
Your leader in industrial weighing solutions. From service to calibration, Advanced Scale helps your business stay accurate and efficient all season long. Visit AdvancedScale.com today. What do these standout companies have in common? They all work with Cinco LLC, helping business owners become better leaders, making better decisions with better results. Because growth is a team sport. Learn more at CincoLLC.com.
Macy's just dropped tons of new Black Friday deals. And with more being added every week, you can save on top gifts now. Like exclusive beauty sets, 50% off. Men's and women's PJs, 40 to 60% off. Handbags, 40 to 50% off. Plus, diamonds, 60% off. So come into Macy's, beat the rush, and get your holiday shopping done early. Black Friday starts here at Macy's. Savings off select styles. Exclusions apply.
Lowe's knows that saving is always top of mind, especially this season. That's why we've picked some great deals for early Black Friday. Get free select DeWalt, Cobalt, or Craftsman tools when you buy a select battery or combo kit. More tools? Why not? Plus, we've got select pre-lit artificial Christmas trees starting at $59.98 because it's never too early to think Christmas. Get Black Friday prices without the crowds. Lowe's, we help, you save. While supplies last, selection varies by location.
Philly Sports Tonight. Discussion on the big stories we've been talking about all day. Coming up tonight at 6 on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. Coming up at 10, Middays with Marks. Now more of Kincade and Salciunas.
97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Is presented to you by The Bagster. It's a dumpster in a bag. You can get yours today at Home Depot and Lowe's. You need details? Go to Bagster.com.
All right, if the Eagles win Sunday, John guarantees what? The first person to text that in at 610-632-0975. If the Eagles win on Sunday, John is guaranteeing this. And the first person to get it right will win a pair of tickets for the Monday night game, Sixers versus Clippers, Monday, November 17th at the Xfinity Mobile Arena. Sixers single game. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com/76ers. Joining us now on the Comcast Business Hotline every day in Business Big Day. Let Comcast Business help you move forward with what's next. And he joins us at this time each and every Friday. Our favorite from ESPN, Kevin Negandhi, joins us. Kevin, good morning.
Can I make a guess on that question?
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Why not? Because I'm sure the answer's already been typed in.
That you guarantee the Eagles will get the 1 seed in the entire NFC.
You're a bright man.
That is correct.
That is absolutely correct.
You win a pair of tickets to see the Sixers take on the Clippers Monday night.
I guarantee it with a cap. Well, he's on 6 p.m. Sports Center. It'd be tough to get there except to be used as the
vacation day.
The Negandhi copter.
Give it to somebody that you guys who makes a good call and a good point later.
There we
in the
go.
program.
That's look. It's a. I really do believe this is the game, and this is the game that'll shut the door. They will have tiebreakers over 4 of the other 6 playoff teams, if they in the NFC, and they have a chance to get a 5th when they play the Bears on Black Friday. Kevin, I think they're home free if they win this one.
If they win this game,
yes. And I believe they're going to win this game.
Yeah, so let's talk about this game because John and I are totally different when it comes to this. Remember, Kevin, last week was chest week for you and I. You were just as chesty as I was about the Packers game. Now, it didn't necessarily play out the way anybody expected it to. But the Eagles got the win against the Packers. I don't feel that way against the Lions this Sunday. So
they're losing.
How are you feeling about this game Sunday for the Eagles?
I don't feel great. Now, I also believe the Packers have a better defense than the Lions. Here's why I don't feel great. It's the head coach of the Lions, Dan Campbell. So think about this. About 15 months ago, at the start of the season, in 2024, the Lions were the favorite to win the NFC, not the Eagles, right?
Yes.
And their identity was their offense and defensive line and the physicality of the Lions. What happened was the Eagles basically took that role. The Lions were beat up. They had a ton of injuries. They lost Aiden Hutchinson at one point. In the middle of their season, they were taking guys off the street and putting them in. They were just so beat up physically. And I think deep down, Dan Campbell watched that Eagles team and said, that could have been us. That should have been us. Look at the physicality. What is different this year is the Lions are healthy, especially on the offensive line and the defensive line. Eagles are not healthy at all on the offensive line. So I actually think what Dan is sending a message to his team, especially with his comment that he loves the tush push, he loves the physicality that the Eagles have. These are two mirror teams of each other when you talk about philosophy of understanding, or you got 2 star wide receivers, you have a great running game, and you want to punch people on both the lines, right? I think Dan looks at this team as a measuring stick for his team. We beat them, we are going to beat everybody because physicality is going to be the story. And the thing that really hurts this Eagles team this year compared to last year, that offensive line is nowhere near where the line was last year. With all the injuries, Juergens, Dickerson, Lane, they're just not there. And that's why we're not seeing these big holes for Saquon where he was breaking up. There's nothing wrong with Saquon Barkley. I hate all this. What's wrong with Saquon? There's nothing wrong. Because if you put him in open space, he's going to make you look silly. There's just not a lot of open space that we've seen all season long.
Can I make you feel better with a couple numbers? I'm going to
Sure.
make you feel better. Dan Campbell, the Detroit coach, 17-16-1 in games played outdoors, not played in domes. He's a 500 coach. I mean, and that's bottom line.
Of his quarterback. That's his quarterback.
Yep. Well, that game is being played in South Philly last time I looked. And the coaching
100%.
and the coaching edge with Nick Sirianni since the beginning of the 2022 season, the first Super Bowl season, he's 29-6 at home. That's absurd. I mean, that's absurd because if you look at all the great teams they've beaten at home too, that includes playoff games and everything. He's 29-6. Nick Sirianni at home is almost a cheat code, and the Lions outside of domes is a coin flip, and that's just something to me.
I completely agree. So that comes down to one thing. The Eagles' pass rush that we saw against the Packers has to remain the same. And I imagine they're going to have to go 6 offensive linemen. I imagine they're going to keep both running backs in the backfield and maybe keep Montgomery as a blocking back. So this game, if they apply pressure specifically on Goff and make him panic and not get settled in the pocket, they have a chance. Now, if they do that, it's now the second layer, the second line of defense. The linebackers have to step up because, let me tell you, Jahmyr Gibbs in open space, they do such a good job of just dumping the ball to him and say, figure it out, right? And they do such a good job in between 10 to 20 yards with St. Brown and Laporta. So the linebacker, a guy like Zach Bond has to have a major day Sunday night. He's got to be all over the field. And Cooper DeJean plays a massive role here. Also, where's Adoree Jackson on the field? Because they're going to look for Adoree Jackson. Where's the mismatch in Jamison Williams? To me, this is Vic Fangio kind of scheming it up. And if you bring up 2023, the same vibes are still there with the offense, the frustration of trying to get over the hump. And with the wide receiver is still running the same routes that are curls, and there's no creativity. But Vic Fangio changes the entire dynamic that we saw 2 years ago. He's the missing ingredient here to keep these games close. It's just, hey, man, Kevin Patullo, can you just throw a screen pass to Saquon Barkley and let him win a one-on-one battle? Can we just stop the hey, let's have a wide receiver in motion. We're just going to hand the ball off to Saquon in between the guards. How many times do we have to see that over and over? Let's get a crossing route to A.J. Brown. And I know Jalen's not comfortable sometimes throwing across the middle. Well, it's okay to be uncomfortable. Let's get A.J. Brown and scheme him up. And put him in
Kevin, it's not okay to be uncomfortable because Nick Sirianni wants them to be so conservative all the time. They want to be efficient is the word that they've used 6 trillion times this year. And to me, I would like them to try different things and be uncomfortable, to your point. But they don't. They value not losing the turnover battle so much, which I understand. But there are some games like this Sunday against Detroit where you got to open it up a little bit.
Yeah, you want to know why? Because that coach on the other side is going to be going in without fear, right? And that is Dan Campbell. That he lives by that I'm going to have no fear. So there's different levels to this, and I think we saw this in the beginning of Sirianni's tenure in Philly, where he needed to prove to everybody that, hey, I'm fearless. But there's also a layer of being smart fearless, right? When to go for it, when not to go for it, when to kind of put your foot on the pedal. You've got to be selective in that process. And I'll tell you one thing. The opening drive, Patullo deserves a ton of credit.
Yes.
The scripted 15 plays. That drive was perfect. That play call with Jalen was fantastic. Had no problem with it. The minute the fumble happened, and by the way, I didn't have a problem with the fumble because you're going to have to take risks.
It happened.
The minute the fumble happened, the quarterback said, I can't take a risk the rest of the way. And the play calling went that way where it was 3rd and long. when you have two outstanding receivers, multiple situations where they're like, we're just going to settle with a run play. Let's just get 7 yards and then punt. That I think drove the fan base crazy. It drove me crazy. It drove me crazy when it was 3rd and short and you just didn't have the quarterback run, because it's like, hey, just get the first down and let's do a reset again. And they've got to find a way, because guess what? Dan Campbell wants to punch us in the face and send a message that you guys are not going to – it's the same way that we experienced it with the 49ers a couple of years ago. Remember the 49ers, the physicality?
Yep.
They came to Philly in 2023, and they punched us in the face, right? With Debo, I think they're going to have the same type – those teams, Shanahan, Campbell, those teams in the NFC know if you want to get to the top, you got to go through Philadelphia. And I think that's why – we've got to have Nick kind of say, hey, I've got to take some risks here and trust my quarterback. Let's let it fly a little bit.
Kev, you're the man as always. We always love our Friday conversations with you, and we'll look forward to talking to you again next week.
Good job, Kev.
Hey, I didn't mean to steal the question and give you the answer.
No. Somebody already won it.
Bill in Harleysville was our winner, so congratulations to Bill in Harleysville. You guys can go to the game together, Kevin.
There you go,
Bill,
Kev.
enjoy it. All right. Take
Thanks,
care,
Kevin. Have a good weekend. There's Kevin Agandi on the Comcast Business Hotline. All right, Dave Burkett covers the Lions. Has this game been circled for the Lions since last year's playoffs? We'll find out next. Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic. All right, Monday, November 17th, second annual shootout with Salciunas at the Palestra. Oh, my God, I love it. Big 5 matchup, Penn versus St. Joe's. Tip-off at 7 o'clock. Doors open at 5:30. We'll be there at 6. It's a blue out. So for you Penn fans out there, the Palestra wants you to rock the blue. Fans are encouraged to wear it to show your Philly hometown university pride. Stop by the Fanatic booth before the game, and that's where you will sign up for the halftime knockout tournament. And then we will select 10 lucky contestants, and the 10 lucky contestants get to play knockout on the Palestra floor. That alone is freaking awesome. And if you win, you will get a pair of tickets for a Sixers game against the Lakers on December 7th. Quakers gear, Penn basketball tickets, and more. This one's packed with Philly hoop storylines, right? You got former Penn player Fran McCaffrey back as the Quakers' new head coach, and he goes up against former Penn head coach in Steve Donahue, who's now the head coach of St. Joe's. Get tickets at PennAthletics.com. Penn basketball, hometown team, hometown tradition.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
A big game weekend. I'm Connor Thomas. The Eagles have a big-time matchup Sunday night with the Lions, and yesterday's injury report was looking pretty good. Cam Jurgens, the only limited player as he works his way back from a knee injury. Eagles coordinators met with media yesterday, and Vic Fangio talked about the talent his defensive side will face against the Detroit Lions offense.
They got a lot of talent on that side of the ball. They got the best O-line in the league. Quarterback, according to Dan's, playing the best that he's ever played. 2 good running backs. The receivers are all fast. You know, it's a good unit to be calling plays for.
It's set to be a major matchup, primetime in South Philly on Sunday. The Sixers and Flyers are both back in action tonight. Sixers play the Pistons in Detroit, 7:30. That game here on the Fanatic. Flyers play the Blues in St. Louis at 8 p.m. That game on WMMR. MLB handed out their MVP awards last night. Shohei Ohtani won National League MVP over Kyle Schwarber, who finished second. Trey Turner finished fifth. Dave Burkett, who covers the Lions, will join us coming up next. This update is brought to you by Audible. Stuck in traffic, Audible's romance collection will have you falling fast in the slow lane. Satisfy every side of you with rom-coms, romantasy, and the really steamy stuff. Listen free with the 30-day trial at audible.com. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Every game day right before the Birds take the field, check out the Birds Insider pregame show, breaking down every game before it happens. Then, as soon as the clock hits 0, tune into the Birds Insider postgame show as we analyze everything that happened on the field. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code HACK to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code HACK for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code HACK for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
The hard-hitting football action is even better with Prize Picks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old, so don't miss any of the action this season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Download the Prize Picks app today, use the code ROAM, and get a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. That's code ROAM on Prize Picks to get a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 bonus credit in lineups just for playing. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. You do have to be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Bet365 is paying out before the final whistle.
Check out Bet365's unrivaled early payout offer. When you bet on the team to win and they take a 17-point lead, you get paid no matter the final score. Forget the final whistle and start counting that cash. Hold up. You get early payout on parlays, too.
Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Pennsylvania. TNC Supply.
The Philadelphia 76ers play here. Every game, home and away, we have the play-by-play tonight. For fans of the fine life, Corona, official partner of the 76ers. This is the exclusive home for Sixers basketball. 97.5, The Fanatic. Kincade and Salciunas.
Today's talk show, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
It's 9:28 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. And join us now on the Comcast Business Hotline, where every day in business is a big day. Let Comcast Business help you move forward with what's next. He's done a tremendous job for many years covering the Lions for the Detroit Free Press. His name is Dave Burkett. He joins us here on Kincade and Salciunas. David, good morning. How are we doing today, man?
I'm doing well, man. How are you? And sorry about earlier.
That's all right. It happens. It's all good.
We do not answer Connor's calls.
Yeah, our producer. We just put him to the side, so it's all good.
Somebody warned me.
So, David, first and foremost, before we start diving into this game specifically, I'm curious. How long has this game been circled on the calendar for some players, or even Dan Campbell with the Detroit Lions? Because we all thought the same thing, even here in Philadelphia, that these two teams were destined to play one another in the NFC Championship game last year, and then we know the injuries just became too much. So has this game been circled for those players?
Yeah, and, Dan actually said something to that effect this week that, I asked him about the tush push, writing about that, obviously, a little topical for us here in Detroit. And, he said, man, we've thought about how to defend it really for like 2 years, thinking we might play the Eagles in the playoffs, and it just hasn't happened. So I think that goes for coaches, that goes for players. It's not something that's obviously been on their mind on a weekly basis, but this type of matchup against one of the other, kings of the NFC, it's what these guys here in Detroit sort of get up for and what they've been looking for a long, long time. So looking forward to this game on Sunday. It should be a really good one.
Tell us about Goff outside of domes, because the numbers tell a story, but are the numbers telling us the real story?
Well, I think, look, there has been a lot made about him. I mean, even going back to his Rams days, and especially playing in cold weather, outside of domes and kind of what that does. But, really what I've seen from him here in Detroit is it's far less about the weather or being outside or anything like that, and it's more about that offensive line, and I'm sure you guys can appreciate that with what's going on in Philadelphia this year. But Jared Goff, when he has time, when he has protection, is a really good quarterback, and it doesn't matter the elements. It doesn't matter what else is going around. It doesn't matter who he's playing. The Lions, failures this year have been due in large part to their offensive line. Week one, they just were not in sync up front. There were a lot of protection issues, communication issues. those things popped up again a couple weeks ago against the Minnesota Vikings, and that's why they lost that game, a game they shouldn't have. So that was at home. That Packers game was outside. They lost to the Chiefs outside earlier this year. Yeah, there's certainly something if you look at the history of it, but I think if you dive into the actual play, it's about a lot of things other than just where that game's being held.
Well, speaking of the play, it got to the point where Dan Campbell overtook play calling duties for the Detroit Lions. We are having conversations here in Philadelphia with the Eagles offensive coordinator. So I'm curious, what was it that led to Dan Campbell saying, okay, I'm going to take care of this now moving forward?
Well, look, I mean, the reality is that he thought he had or thinks he has a Super Bowl team. And, he didn't want to leave one thing to chance, one thing that was had become a little bit of a weak spot for them. And the Lions they were still the second highest scoring team in the NFL when they made that move. So it wasn't totally about the production on the field, but it was, some of those offensive line failures, the lack of explosive plays, just the struggles the Lions had to consistently generate offense like they were doing the past couple years when Ben Johnson was calling plays. And, Dan he took over play calling in 2021, second half of his first season in Detroit. There was a pretty noticeable change when he did that. Ben Johnson sort of apprenticed under him at that time and kind of learned, exactly what he was looking for. And I think that was Dan's big thing with the offense was he has this vision of how it should run. And as much as people think he's a meathead and a kneecap biter and all this, like he's a really, really intelligent football guy. And when he's calling plays, I think we saw a little bit of that last week.
So give us some of the updates on the injuries. We're speaking with Dave Burkett, who covers the Detroit Lions. The injury list that you have has gotten longer and longer. The Eagles are actually getting healthier at a very good time. Who are you expecting to not see on the field Sunday for Detroit?
Yeah, I think the biggest concerns are in the secondary still, and that's, Kirby Joseph is not going to play. He's probably going to miss his fourth straight game with a knee injury there. Terrion Arnold is in concussion protocol, and some Lions fans may tell you it's good that he's out. He's sort of had a rocky first season and a half, but he's still one of their better cover men. DJ Reed, their best cornerback, is on IR. He came back to practice this week. Not sure if he's going to make it to the game or not. He's coming off a pretty bad hamstring injury, so they might give him another week. That'd be a big lift if they could get him back. And then Amik Robertson is the other question mark in the secondary. He's sort of moved over to that, number one cornerback spot when Reed and Arnold have been battling injuries, and he just popped up yesterday with a hamstring injury. So, the injuries on the Lions' offensive line, Taylor Decker, Penei Sewell, those guys should be okay. It's the injuries in the back end of the defense that I'd be worried about if I was a Lions fan.
What's the Lions, the three losses that they've had? Has there been any other than the offensive line? Has it been the defense causing them to walk away losers that night when you do your postmortem of the losses?
No, it hasn't. It's really been the offense. I mean, look, right before the Lions made that play caller change, there were three straight games, I think, where they had scored 24 or less points, and it was kind of, it's one of those things where you watch this Lions offense enough, and it's like an upset when they don't score. They've got so much talent, and they spread the ball around so well, and they just hit that rut there where they weren't doing that. It wasn't even turnover so much as, a negative yard play that just put them behind the sticks, and then they just weren't, confusing defenses like they seemed to do in the past. And so that was the big thing. It was the offensive line. And look, the Lions need to generate more turnovers, and they don't have a whole lot of, individual guys that win in pass rush outside of Aiden Hutchinson. So it's, there are other things that contribute to it. But when that offensive line is right and that offense is working, that running game is going, this is a really good team.
Dave, I'm going to ask you to put your analysis and fact aside. I'm going to ask you to go to the gut feel here. So we're talking about confidence level for the Eagles today. They're 7-2, but with all the drama and with all the questions of the offense, they don't feel like a one seed, but they are. So I'll ask you, from a Detroit Lions standpoint, do they feel like a team that's destined to get back to an NFC Championship game if healthy, or is there still a lot that they have to overcome before you say something like that?
No, look, I think this team I think they have as good a roster as anyone in the NFL, right? The Eagles, the Ravens, when they're healthy, I think there's a handful of teams in that discussion. Lions are right up there. They are, when you look at the fit they have, they do not have anyone of any significance that right now is out for the season. They're getting a bunch of guys back, in fact, here over the next couple of weeks. They've got a lot of things going for them. If Dan taking over play calling, has the impact last week, they absolutely have the makings of a Super Bowl team. And know that I would look. Eagles are still really good. I think if they win this week, it's going to be extremely hard for the Lions to get home field advantage. Those two teams in the NFC West, the Rams especially, they worry me. The Lions have to go to L.A. next month, so that's still a big one on their schedule. But I think the Lions absolutely have what it takes to make it to the Super Bowl.
So when you say that home field advantage to you, because I really believe the Eagles are going to be home free if they win this game in the NFC. Yeah. Do you think that it's critical for the Lions to get where they want to go, that they're playing like 2 home games, that they can't be, they got to be one of the top 2 seeds?
Yeah, thought that was going to be the case last year when they were 15-2 and at home for the playoffs.
But they were so injured, and if that's not the case.
No doubt. And I do. I think, look, I think there are, I don't even know if they're elite, but, 4 probably really good teams in the NFC right now, right? The Lions, the Eagles, the Seahawks, I'm buying them, I guess, and the Rams, and the Packers, maybe, who knows what they are right now. But I think in order to navigate that road of those top 4, you probably need 2 home games, and if you get the 1 seed and you get a bye, so maybe you get to avoid one of those guys, all the better. So I totally agree with you that the Lions cannot afford to fall 2 games behind the Eagles in the race for home field advantage and not have that tiebreaker and then expect to get it. So the Eagles, even with the loss, I think could still be the 1 seed.
Sure.
I don't think that's the case for the Lions.
Dave, we appreciate the time, man.
Thanks, Dave.
Have a safe trip to Philadelphia and then back to Detroit, and keep up the great work. Thank you.
All right. Sounds good, guys.
There he is, Dave Burkett on the Comcast
really
Business Hotline. Covers the Lions, has been for a long time for the Detroit Free Press. He is where did I see this? On his Twitter bio, 4-time Michigan Sports Writer of the Year.
He is a very popular writer there, even though a lot of times people will accuse him of not being good to the home team. Sounds like Jeff McClain.
So he's the Jeff McClain of Detroit. All right.
He's a very honest guy, and he writes he writes the story.
All right, coming up next, we got to do our picks, and then we give our predictions for this upcoming Eagles game. Also, Tom Brady still can't get over Super Bowl 52.
Oh, my God.
It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Philadelphia.
Friday here on Kincade Salciunas 97.5. The Fanatic. Before we hand things over to Middays with Marks, Harry Mays in the building today. Football Fridays brought to us by Norristown Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram. Driving great deals at the fall sales event at Norristown Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram. And get wicked good deals all month long on a Chrysler Dodge Jeep or Ram. Visit NorristownChryslerDodge.com. Now, before we do our pick segment and then our predictions for Sunday's game, Tom Brady still can't get over Super Bowl 52.
What's the problem? The Botox kicking in or something?
He was, he got interviewed, he works for Fox now.
Yeah.
And so he's doing Sunday's game between the Bears and the Vikings, which is at U.S. Bank Stadium, which, of course, is the home of Super Bowl 52, where the Philadelphia Eagles beat Tom Brady. Quote, in some ways, that was one of the most memorable losses because I get reminded of it all the time. When I go cover these Philadelphia Eagles games and all the fans cheer me on, in another way, it was very heartbreaking. So he talked about how great they played offensively, which they did. And he's like, and then they had this guy, Nick Foles, that was unstoppable.
And unshakable for his hand?
Yes, that's right.
Tom?
Now, he mentioned the weather because it was so cold out there that he sat in his room pretty much all week. And he and his family never left the hotel room, so he was just thinking constantly about the game. Now, he's a cyborg, so it didn't impact him.
It certainly gave him a great performance.
Yeah, he played.
511 yards,
he
right?
He played pretty well. His defense didn't.
No.
Shout out Nick Foles. My guy, Brandon Graham, a fellow Wolverine, has a Wolverine on Wolverine crime. Strip sacks me in the fourth quarter. We're going down. We have a chance to go ahead and win the game, which would have been an unbelievable moment. We dug ourselves out of a hole, and he comes through the line of scrimmage and knocks the ball out of my hand just as I'm getting ready to throw the ball away and ends up being a fumble. Now, there's multiple times where I've been standing on the field at Lincoln Financial Field in the last 2 years, and he's come from behind and pretends that he's strip sacking me.
Thank you, 97.5.
It's not funny.
It's not funny.
It is objectively funny.
It is absolutely awesome.
Anytime, listen to this one, and he might see these on Sunday because the Bears are playing. Anytime I see a trick play, I get PTSD. And that's not fun when you're a broadcaster calling a game.
That's awesome.
That game will forever, ever be burned
the Philly
into his
special
brain.
call was great, but then remember, he had dropped the pass
earlier in the game. Yeah.
In the game on a trick play, he couldn't execute.
The big story was the thumb. He had the bandage on his thumb or something like that.
Right.
And he still threw for 511 yards.
Yeah. He would pass for 600 that day had the thumb.
Yeah, had the thumb been fine, he would
had
throw
the thumb
for
been
600.
fine. That's awesome.
All right.
You ready?
Football music. Tell us about the Parks people, Johnny.
I love Bet Parks, and I love the Parks Casino in Ben Salem, but I like the Bet Parks app. Bet Parks app right there in the palm of your hand. All the gambling action you want anytime. Bet responsibly, though, please.
So whose honor is it?
The honor goes to either one of you because it should go to Connor.
He's got the better record. So
Connor has the
goes
better
first,
record because I did not have a winning week last week. I was 2-2. I've still not had a losing week. I'm 26-14 against the spread, 65%. Connor's in second place at 55%, 22-18, and Andrew is in the caboose. 19-21 at 48%, last year's champion, having a hard time getting it ready.
I'm the Baltimore Ravens. I'm just taking my time.
You are.
I'm
So Connor, you get first call.
Your Honor. I'm testing the universe with these picks because I'm being partially truthful and partially funny. We are taking the 49ers -3 on the road in Arizona against the Cardinals. You got Brock Purdy back. I do think that gives a little bit of a boost to that offense, even though I don't think he should have been paid. I agree with you. But I still think he's better than Mac Jones. I'm going to take the Rams -3 versus Seattle Seahawks. And that's just because I think Sam Darnold stinks, and this is my prove-it bet for that. I am taking the Rams.
What's that point spread again?
-3.
Okay.
They're all -3, Johnny.
Okay,
I'm glad
all
you caught
3
on.
today? Okay.
49ers -3, Rams -3, and Chargers -3 at Jacksonville. I don't think the Jaguars are all that good, and I do think the Chargers still have some good games in them, even though they don't do it consistently.
They're 7-3.
Well, yeah. But they're not
still
consistent.
Got some good games in them.
All right, go on.
Well, no, they are. They have those blow-up games. So we're talking about covering,
you're ahead
not
of
just
him.
winning.
You shouldn't be interfered
Kick
with by
rocks
him.
over there. This might have you catch up, though, because I got to go with the Jameis Winston over 228.5 passing yards.
I think that's a great pick.
He throws the ball around,
He's going to chuck it all over.
It
He'll
is
have 3 touchdowns, 3 picks, but he's going to throw the ball.
It's against the Packers defense on a short week, too, coming off Monday Night Football.
That's a hard one. The Packers defense is tough.
Yeah, but they might be a little bit tired from all the passing yards the Eagles put up on them.
I like your thought process.
Well, don't you worry, because I, too, have the Chargers minus the 3. 2 teams heading in different directions. Chargers winners of 3 straight. Also, that loss last week for Jacksonville could be a backbreaker.
Could be.
I mean, they were up big, and they allowed the Texans to score 26 points in the fourth quarter.
It was ugly. I thought the Giants were playing.
They got millsed.
So the Houston Texans, the Chargers, I got them at minus 3. Now, speaking of millsed, I like the Texans minus 5.5 against the Tennessee Titans. The Titans are just a mess.
In Nashville.
Okay, I don't think it matters.
Tough environment there.
What,
it is.
Country music and beer? The Houston Texans, I will
tough
take
for Connor to get up on Sunday morning.
minus 5.5. If you remember, the first time these 2 teams played, this is when the Texans' offense was a joke. They scored 26 points that game, and since then, the Texans' offense has come to life. They're a much different team than where they were the first month of the season, so I like the Texans because that defense is still really good. Sorry, Nature Valley Bar.
All right.
I have 2 totals.
2 totals.
And 2 unders.
What?
I'm going the under on 2 totals.
Okay, what are they?
I'm going to go the under 44.5 between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Denver Broncos. I think this is going to be a bare knuckle fight.
Under, what's the number?
44.5.
Interesting.
Broncos defense is still very good. And Bo Nix, they find ways to win. They're not putting up 30 points.
No, he's been pretty terrible.
So I'm going to go the under 44.5 for the Chiefs and Broncos, and I will stick with my under for the Arizona Cardinals, who play San Francisco. I don't think Brock Purdy's all of a sudden going to throw for 400 yards. 48.5 is the total. I will take the under in that game as well.
Okay, 2 unders. I hate betting unders. Do you hate betting unders?
Betting unders for losers. Sorry.
I don't like betting unders. I don't like betting unders, but I like your thought process.
No, I don't like it either because you're sweating it in a different way.
All right, I don't usually give you a losing week like ever. So I'm going to give you a hopefully winning week, get back to winning. Dolphins minus 2.5. Neutral site game versus the Commodes. I couldn't love that game more because I think Washington has told us that they've sort of folded up the tents. I'll take the Falcons in a huge revenge game. They lost to the Panthers 30-0 in Carolina.
Yeah, they did.
They're laying 3.5. I've slid that line on the BetParks app already up to 7.5.
Wow.
I think the Falcons are going to truck them.
Magic City John over
I'll
there.
take the Eagles minus 2.5 on Sunday night. And I will also take the Eagles Detroit over 46.5. So I'm giving you, I've stayed away from a lot of Eagles games. Not this week. Eagles minus 2.5. Philly and Detroit over 46.5.
All right, and there's your picks.
26-14.
We both hit on Eagles last week, or I guess Monday. So yeah, it's a hot trend right now.
Yeah,
on the show.
I stayed away. I've stayed away from the Eagles almost in my picks almost every single week.
And we took them as dogs.
I took them outright in the actual betting.
Outright.
Well, yeah, but we gave
Outright.
One.
There you go.
All right, so Eagles Lions Sunday night.
Yes.
I do not have the Eagles. Just kidding. They're going to win. No, I'm not doing
Yeah,
that.
don't do that like you did last year with Green Bay.
Well, that was different.
Before the opening
I don't
weekend.
feel good about this game. I have not for the last couple of weeks. And as chesty as I was last week leading into Monday Night Football with the Packers, I also told you that this was going to be cheat week for me. I was just going to sit and eat bonbons all
So you
week.
are eating.
I do not have the same chesty feeling for
Chubby
the Eagles.
Tunis
For
is
the,
coming.
hell yeah, he is. I have the Eagles dropping this one 33-28 to the Detroit Lions. So your over hit.
Your over hits. I'm going to tell you right now, bet the over. The Birds will not win a pretty game. You're not hanging it in the Louvre to be stolen. But Eagles score 31, Lions score 24. And I'm telling you, I think the 24 may be one of those late scores to make it a one-score game. I am very feeling good about Sunday night. I think it's going to be a really good night. 31-24 Birds.
All right, Connor?
I think it's a little bit lower scoring. because I think the Eagles' defense really is good, and I think the Eagles' offense really might be bad. So we're going to go with a 24-21 Eagles victory.
Oh, that's tight. But I tell you, it's going to be agita. Sunday night's still going to be agita.
Yeah, no walk in the park coming.
Yeah, and it's but when they win the game, the number one seed, it's in the bag. How about that?
Hey.
In the bag.
This is one of those I hope I'm wrong moments. Tell me about life-saving cancer research, please,
Well,
Johnny.
our man Ron Davis, did you get him your paperwork?
No, not yet.
Well, get on it. Ron Davis is a great CPA.
November.
And the Davis CPA Group is making a donation to the AACR, the American Association for Cancer Research, and you can too. Go to 975thefanatic.com/AACR. I'm living proof 3 times over that cancer research saves lives.
Damn right, Johnny. All right, everybody have a great rest of your day. We have Middays with Marks coming your way next with Harry Mays and, of course, Ray Dunn as well. Everybody have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you Monday morning here on 97.5.